Detroit Red Wing Hockey is brought to you by AMC, your Metro Detroit AMC dealer, featuring the American Eagle. And by Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. And by Peschke and the all-new Peschke Great American Premium line of products. And by Little Caesars, a winner any way you slice it.
Tonight, from the Met Center in Bloomington, Minnesota, the Detroit Red Wing Hockey Club brings you the game between the Minnesota North Stars and the Detroit Red Wings. Good evening, everybody. We're looking forward to quite a hockey game between these two teams here in the Met Center tonight. Sid, they have met once before, the North Stars and the Red Wings, and that was at Olympian Detroit. A sad night for the Wings, as I recall it.
Well, the North Stars are a very impressive-looking hockey club. They have some young talent that can score goals. They've played very well. They have the best goal-scoring record of any team in the league, so they're a powerhouse. They're up in the top 7 or 8 in the standings of the entire league. And it's a tough team for the Wings to meet in the last game of a 6-game road trip after losing, say, in Colorado and losing in Atlanta.
Well, it was October 31st that the North Stars, right in Detroit, scored twice in the latter half of the third period. Beat the Wings 5-3, the only meeting between the two teams thus far this season. But the Red Wings made a change in the last 24 hours. After last night's game, they sent defenseman Perry Miller to their Glen Falls farm team, and they called up a young fellow who'll be right at home here tonight in Minnesota. We take a look at Jim Korn.
You know, and he's a big boy, and he played a couple of games. He was called up back a couple of weeks ago and played a couple of games for the Wings. If he lacks anything, Bruce, it's experience. He's a college hockey player playing his first year pro, but he has size, he can skate, he can shoot a puck, and if the Wings are going to do anything, they better start looking at some of their kids that are down on the farm club.
Well, very much like Reed Larson, Jim is a home product here. Though he did not play his collegiate hockey in Minnesota, he played out east at Providence, but he was born and raised in Hopkins, Minnesota, a suburban area of the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. We have talked a great deal about a young man, the #1 draft choice of the Minnesota North Stars. And Sid, we watched him in exhibition play. We watched him in the game in Detroit. He's a good one.
He is a good one. Craig Hartsburg. You know, and it's surprising that he would be there for them to draft because they drafted 8th or 9th in the league. This boy played, he turned pro, played last year in Birmingham in World Hockey, and was eligible for the draft, the junior draft this year. And surprisingly, he was still sitting there when Minnesota come along and took him. He has, I'd say this early in the season, Bruce, has impressed me more than any other first-year player in hockey.
If Minnesota is to miss any one person tonight, it has to be their rookie of a year ago, the rookie of the season a year ago. I speak of a young fellow named Bobby Smith, who's out for about 6 weeks with a broken ankle. And they are also now going to miss a pretty fair hockey player in the person of Tim Young, who pulled up with a bad hand just yesterday.
You know, they can play over injuries, though. They have a pretty good bench. They're going to miss Bobby Smith, I would think, the fact that he's a team leader. He had such a terrific year last year, his first year. He was off to a great start again this year, and it maybe takes some goals away from the kid that played on the same line, a kid by the name of Payne that scores goals. He's got 14 already this year. A new center iceman might throw his goal scoring off, and that could hurt them that way.
Well, a comparison of records shows each team having played 18 games. The Red Wings have won 6. They have lost 10 and tied 2. The North Stars, in the 18 games, they've lost only 4, won 10, and tied the other 4 games, so they're off to really quite a start. The two goaltenders we're going to be looking at tonight, Rogie Vachon for Detroit, Joe Meloche from Minnesota, and we'll be back with the opening face-off of tonight's hockey game in just a moment.
Why does only American Motors have a full 5-year no-rust-through warranty?
Because in all its 1980 cars, AMC starts with galvanized steel in critical areas. Then add Z-Bart factory rust protection as the cars are being built at no extra cost.
AMC with Z-Bart factory rust protection, rust-resistant galvanized steel, and the only 5-year no rust-through warranty.
American Motors, built for today, built to last for tomorrow.
This Bud's for everybody who helps keep our country on the move.
This Bud's for you. You're working hard all day just like you always do.
This Bud's for you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you, that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
Little Caesar's Pizza, tastiest in town. A winner anyway you slice it, all the way around.
The carry-outs are good and hot, great for nighttime snacks. Or sit down at Little Caesar's, just order and relax.
If you want variety, there's a family in for you. It's a winner, come in and see Little Caesar's.
Look for our ad in the news and free press TV books for a free pizza. Well, we have the same officiating crew that we had in the game last night. Matter of fact, they flew over in the same flight this morning from Denver. Ron Horgarth, the referee, with John D'Amico and Mark Pear, the two linesmen. The Red Wings are going to start the hockey game. Well, let's take a look at Jill Malone. She's in the nets now for the North Stars. And at the other end, Rogie Vachon, and this hockey game about to get underway. On the opening face-off, this is Gary Sargent back along his own blue line, feeding over on the other side to his captain, Paul Schmier. Puck went into the Detroit zone. That's Glenn Sharpley, number 7, putting it right out in front, but went all the way to the blue line. They called it onside, so the play stays in. Here's Sargent. Sargent took a shot and just skimmed the goalpost off to the left side of Vachon. And again, that puck was held in at the line. Number 9, Ron Zanussi, played it in behind the Detroit goal. Very long, sweeping it along the boards. Foligno bumped his man. Peter Mahavlichuk failed to control it. Puck shot wide of the Detroit goal by Tom McCarthy. Now Mike Foligno off the very long on the left side to Earl Thompson. He didn't get it out. Zanussi held it in. Foligno intercepts and tries to work out. He couldn't pull away from McCarthy, and Sargent hands it back to Schmier. Now Paul Schmier lost it to Mahavlich, but it's taken away by Kent-Eric Anderson, who moves right back into the Detroit zone. Drops it pass. Mike Polich's shot knocked away, and that's Nedemansky. He's checked center ice. Brad Maxwell back at his own blue line. Teams changing on the move. Tom Youngins moved in, or Tim Youngins into the Detroit zone. McCourt knocked it away from him. This is Reed Larson. He's a popular fellow here in Minnesota. Fires a first shot on goal that Milosh has to stop. Craig Hartsburg played it to the line. They had to pull up there as Anderson had gone in ahead of the play. Now Youngins dumped it in behind the Detroit goal. That's stopped by Vachon. He leaves it for Willie Huber. Jim Korn played it to the line but didn't get it out. There's a man right out in front, but the play was broken up, and now Dale McCourt starts Danny LeBratton out. He's a speedster over the line, but he's checked right there by Maxwell. At center ice, Willie Huber. Now Huber lifts it in the air, drives it off to the side of the North Star goal. Maxwell cleared it along the boards, being tied up there. It's kicked away by McCourt. Nedemansky with it. Big Net took a shot way wide. Stopped on the left point now by Korn. Korn, they stalled it offside. So he pulled it back in from just over the blue line.
A terrific start, Bruce. Minnesota in the first minute and a half, they threw the puck around like a hot potato. They had the Wings running here, there, and everywhere, but they didn't get a shot on net. The Wings are going to have to make up their minds early in this game. They're against a skating hockey club, a team that will score goals. They're going to have to pick their checks up and come up and down with them all night long.
Now we have Dennis Sobchuk between Paul Woods and Bill Hogebaum. That's a shot from center ice by Larson. And Gary Sargent clears it ahead now to Mike Eaves. Eaves' pass tipped away. Coming back quickly was Paul Woods. Now very long, moving to his own blue line. Dennis Sobchuk. Sobchuk drops it off for Larson. He moves into the Minnesota zone. Worked away from one man, goes to the corner with it. He's bumped in along the boards there by Steve Payne. Getting into it, Fred Barrett, and they hold it for a face-off, which will be to the left of the North Star goal. We have played 2 minutes and 38 seconds of the first period with no score as you look at Dennis Sobchuk. And a quick player change.
I was going to say a packed house here. This Minnesota club has turned things around when they're winning the sellout crowd here again tonight.
Hogebaum now moves to center ice. Hicks on one wing, and on the other side, Dennis Polonich. Polonich picked up 12 stitches around the lip when he was hit by a puck in the game last night. That's Barry Long, wearing number 2 for the Red Wings. A center ice pass knocked away. Moving with it is Eaves. He plays it back to his own blue line for Barrett. Now Barrett drives it into the corner. Hicks goes in after it. Then Hicks of the Red Wings trying to pull away from his man, McAdams. McAdams checking him, but Hicks brought it out to center ice. Still on the move, a bouncing, rolling puck. Took the shot, and Meloche stopped that. Now coming right back is McAdam. Now McAdam out at center ice. Play was knocked away by Very Long right at the blue line. McAdam back after it. Feeding it now to Brad Maxwell. Played into the Detroit zone, off to the right of or the left of the Detroit goal. And it'll be taken now by Larson. Larson, a quick pass to Peter Mahavlich over on the right side. Dennis Polonich tipped it over the line, but North Stars take over there. Brad Maxwell, a long pass coming out center ice. On the move, Brassard carrying into the Detroit zone. For Olaf Brassard's broken up by Thompson. Harold Thompson after that loose puck along with Hartsburg, and Hartsburg knocked it away from him. Oh, one more touch of speed, and Thompson would have been in alone, but Hartsburg came back and made the play. It's been continuous action. We near the 4-minute mark of the first period. Puck knocked away from Korn. In behind Vachon is Hamel. Centering pass, but Thompson will take it. Now he feeds Foligno, one man back. That's Hartsburg again. Here's Foligno, cut by him. And then he was dumped to the ice by the goaltender. As Foligno made a good move. Maxwell clearing it ahead now. Brassard bringing it out to center ice. They carried this to the line. Harold Thompson is checked right there, and the play whistled down. No score, and we're going to be back in just a moment.
Does American Motors Concord DL give you more value than Citation?
We think so. Citation has a 14-gallon gas tank. Concord has a 22-gallon gas tank. Think about that this weekend. Concord DL gives you more standard luxuries, individual reclining seats, full vinyl roof, and more, all at no extra cost. Even Z-Bart factory rust protection, and the only 5-year no rust-through warranty, the 1980 Concord.
American Motors. Built for today, built to last for tomorrow.
Dale McCourt moves out now with Danny LeBratton on the left wing and Nedomansky on the right side. Willie Huber back along the defense with Greg Jolly. Now this is Willie Huber bringing it out to center ice. His pass tipped off the stick of Dale McCourt. Barrett comes back after it, and he clears it down the ice. Huber's going to play it before there'll be an icing call. Played it off to the left side. Greg Jolly went in after it, pinned in along the boards by Mike Polich. That's Youngins that took it away, but McCourt covered up on him. Dale McCourt into the corner. It's tipped away from him. Youngins put it out in front, and it was Vachon that actually cleared it off the stick of the North Star player. Wings lose it. That's Anderson moving it right out. They score. Tim Youngins left wide open as the Wings left it right at their own blue line.
Well, it was a mistake by the Wings right at their own blue line. Youngins was left coming from behind the net. Right at the blue line, a left loose puck. It was just a wave, and then the pass as Huber come out to face the player. The puck come across to Youngins, and he had no problem at all. He was standing there pretty well by himself.
They gave Polich an assist on it too, but McCourt lost it right at the blue line, and Anderson set up Youngins, who was wide open. Now here's a quick pass to Anderson. Anderson went in offside. So Tim Youngins on a very sharp play at the Detroit blue line.
That's his first goal of the year, too. One of the few fellows on this club that haven't been scoring any goals. I'll say one thing, and I mentioned it earlier, Bruce. This Minnesota club, they skate. And they're just continually in movement. They're a lot like the Montreal Canadiens. When the Canadiens were just running roughshod over the league, they're in motion all the time, and you don't get a minute's rest with them.
Sid, they keep the shots on goal posted here, and if we believe that, that's the first shot that Minnesota's had in the hockey game.
There's no doubt about that.
Now Reed Larson failed to get away. That's Sharpley handing it back to Brad Maxwell. Cleared it deep into the Detroit end. Dennis Polonich tipped it ahead, but didn't get it out. Zanussi played it right onto the stick of Paul Woods, who dropped back. Now Woods ahead to Larson. A left side pass over 2 lines to Glenn Hicks. Pause in the action. The score 1-0 Minnesota. We're back in just a moment.
This Bud's for everybody who puts in a hard day's work.
This Bud bud's for you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you, that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
Face off just inside the Detroit blue line. The goal by Tim Youngins is first of the year from Anderson and Polish at 5:06, the only shot North Stars have had thus far, but you surely couldn't blame the goaltender. Vachon on it. Youngins was wide open off to the side of the net. Here now, John Amell played it to the side of his own goal. That's Dennis Polonich battling along the boards. Whistle stops the play. Face off in the circle to the right of the Detroit net.
You know, Bruce, I was going to say a funny thing. Every time the Wings seem to make a mistake in their zone, it costs them dearly. Last night in Colorado, they made 2 or 3 mistakes trying to clear the puck out of their own zone, and each time that they did, Colorado jumped all over them. Here tonight, they're going along real well in the first few minutes of the game. Playing, had a few shots on net, could have scored on Foligno's rush. The play comes in on the very first shot on net. There's a mistake made, and Minnesota put it in the net.
Face-off stays to the right side of Vachon. McCourt won the draw. John Amell turning in behind his own net was checked right there. Puck along the boards, McCourt going after it. He lost it, sharply knocked it away. It's still loose, and this will be Glenn Hicks picking it up. Hicks pass coming out on the right side to Larson again. Hicks is on the move. Hicks over the line. He was off balance going in. Took a good bump along the boards. Paul Woodrow holds it in. He was hit heavily. Bounced around. Zanussi gave him a whack, and they hold it. Now Dennis Polonich and Zanussi trying to go at it. Right down below us. Gloves and sticks around the ice. And it was Zanussi that really made the move into Woods, and then Polonich came in after him. So the two of them will more than likely go in.
And you have to give Dennis Polonich a lot of credit. He got caught just on the upper lip last night with a puck in Colorado, a shot that one of their defensemen had taken, and he got 12 stitches or 14 stitches. And here he gets into a little brawl where they start to push. And here's the way the play goes around behind that. And Paul Woods, now watch Zanussi step into Paul Woods. He comes around the corner. And then Dennis Polonich comes in, and this starts fairly innocently, and then finally Dennis and Zanussi take a little push at one another. No one was hurt. They both wind up getting penalties. Just 2 minutes.
Well, boys and girls, you can get an official Red Wings puck if you are one of the first 5,000 kids 14 and under to come to the game on Saturday, December the 8th. When the Wings will meet the Vancouver Canucks at 7:30 p.m. Puck night is sponsored by Tubby's Submarine Shops. Each team playing short a man now, roughing penalties to Polonich and Zanussi at 6:26. Play is deep in the Minnesota zone. Sargent clearing it out on the right side. It'll be kept in by Danny LeBratton, but his pass is intercepted. Oh, on the move now. That's Paul Schmier coming back. LeBratton took him out of the play and it stayed right there. Bounced loose out in front, but the Wings, with a good move on the part of Danny LeBratton, who came back quickly, got out of trouble. Now it's cleared back into the Minnesota zone, into the corner. Anderson, LeBratton tying him up. Puck is still bouncing off to the side of the net. Nedemansky plays it back for Larson. He's got Jolly open on the left side. Jolly, he lost it, and it bounced back out center ice. Back after it, Polic, number 16, but Jolly clears it to Larson again. Reed Larson firing it into the corner. Both teams short a man for still about a minute. Coming out, Al McAdam. McAdam, number 25, over the line, and Reed Larson came across to knock him off the puck. Here's Nedemansky. Big net is checked before he could get any place. Schmier's pass hit his own man. It's picked off by Nedemansky. He lost it to McAdam. Play bouncing around in the Detroit zone. Gary Sargent, number 22. It comes now to Larson, or rather to Jolly. Jolly ahead to Nedemansky. Jolly coming up with Nedemansky, but Nedemansky failed to work away. And it's right back down the ice into the Detroit zone again. That's Al McAdam. Dropped it off. A shot by Fee. Big save by Vachon. McAdam given a bump now by Willie Huber. Nedemansky lost it. It's still deep in the Detroit end with Steve Payne after it. 10 seconds remaining in the penalties. That's Brad Maxwell, number 5, back at his own blue line. Here's a chance for Payne. He drilled the shot, knocked down in front. Nedemansky goes after the rolling puck into the corner. Now the penalties are over. Both teams are at full strength as Mahavlich starts out. Peter Mahavlich dumped it in. That's Dennis Polonich, but he was whistled down offside.
Well, Vachon had to come up with a big save on a screen shot out in front. The Wings were backed up, and the Wings had a little problem there because Nedomansky couldn't get off the ice. Big Ned was out there probably for 3 minutes or 3.5 minutes without getting a chance to get off and get freshened up.
Now we have Sobchuk with Hicks and Foligno over on the right side. Puck knocked away at center ice by Foligno. He was given a bump but stood his ground. Sanusi ran into him. Now here's Willie Huber's pass. It was tipped off the boards. Hicks bats it into the North Star zone. Fred Barrett, number 3, went in behind his own goal, being checked there by Sobchuk and Foligno both. Foligno got it loose, brought it out in front, but couldn't get a shot away. Here's Willie Huber holding it in. A backhand shot that was knocked down. There's going to be a penalty coming up to Barrett. And finally, it is whistled down, and there'll be an interference call to the Minnesota defenseman. And we'll be back with the Detroit Power Play after this message.
The great search for a bigger, better hot dog is over because Paschke has it. Paschke's Great American Hot Dog bursts with flavor. Flavor that actually won an independent taste test by almost 2 to 1. In regular or a new super size that really fills up the bun. So go to your supermarket and say, I won't take anything less than the Great American Hot Dog.
Great American.
Mike Foligno doing a lot of spade work deep in Minnesota's zone, and as he come around in front of the net to get in position to take maybe a rebound of Huber's shot, Barrett just cross-checks him and knocks him flat back down. He wasn't a puck carrier, it wasn't in the play, and Barrett wound up getting a penalty.
He's off for interference at 9 minutes and 6 seconds of this first period. 1-0. Minnesota leads. That's Reed Larson with a shot right on the net, and Meloche knocked it away. Peter Mahavlich played it over on the opposite side. Willie Huber went digging in after it. He knocked it away from Youngins, but it's drilled out to center ice. And Larson has it there. Now Reed Larson is pass to Willie Huber. Back to Mahavlich at the Detroit blue line. Peter Mahavlich winding up. Here's Mahavlich, a left wing pass to Errol Thompson. Thompson had trouble with it, lost it, and it's fired down the ice by Tim Youngins. Tom Youngins clearing it off to the side of the Detroit goal. Now Huber. Willie Huber, he played it in the corner to Peter Mahavlich. Back to Huber. Wings having problems in their own zone. Can't move it out. They have the extra man. 1 minute and 15 seconds. Larson off to Mahavlich. Big Peter coming out center ice. Now Mahavlich moves over the line. Here's Peter Mahavlich pulling up in the corner. Fell down. Still he worked it to Foligno. No, they gloved the puck ahead. Mahavlich did, and so they're going to bring it out over the Minnesota blue line.
The Wings were having trouble in their own zone because there were 3 of them bunched up over on the left side. It makes it awful tough for a defenseman to try to make a play or anyone carrying the puck when you got 3 players within an area of 10 feet. One player from Minnesota can check all 3, so Mahavlich tried to come all the way down by himself. He waited maybe a little too long. He got deep in the corner. He should have made a play a little sooner. But big thing is to get into the zone and get established and move the puck around and make Minnesota make mistakes.
Sobchuk moves into center. Nedomansky and LeBratton now. Dale McCord and Reed Larson back at the blue line. Larson lost it. Now here's Anderson heading into the Detroit zone. Anderson put it right up in front. And cutting in was Chris Maneri, but he failed to handle it, and Nedomansky streaks back down the ice. A drop pass for Sobchuk. Dennis Sobchuk is checked, never got a shot away. He held it in, though. It bounced in behind the net, but going in after it, Hartsburg. Hartsburg playing it ahead to Anderson. And Anderson shoots it out center ice. A half a minute left in the Detroit power play. They have not actually threatened. Now Sobchuk turning back at his own blue line. Dennis Sobchuk with a pass to Larson. Back into the North Star zone, but McCourt was 3-4 feet ahead of him, and that's way offside.
Now there again, they're not getting in deep. Minnesota's leaving their defensemen right up to their blue line, and Detroit are more or less trying to start a play in center ice and without anyone skating, trying to stick handle through 4 players. Makes it awful difficult.
15 seconds remaining in the penalty to Minnesota's Fred Barrett. 1-0 North Stars lead. The goal by Youngins at 5:06. Now face-off is won by Sobchuk. That's Sean Hamel firing it off the boards. It bounced off to the side of the North Star goal. Sobchuk took it in the corner again. Now Sobchuk's pass back on the line. John Hamel whistled that shot. It was knocked down by Steve Payne. Payne bats it out to center ice. Out of the penalty box, Barrett. Off to McAdams, but it was Korn that cut him off. And here's John Hamel coming back. Over on the left side, Danny LeBratton trying to get loose. Puck went in behind the goal again. Paul Schmier goes into the corner. LeBratton chasing him. Danny LeBratton has got to be the workhorse of the Red Wings. Now McAdam. McAdam lost it, taken away by Sobchuk. Sobchuk a shot that bounced into the corner. Paul Schmier goes in after it. Red Wings are forechecking. Play is deep in the North Star zone. Korn came in, knocked his man down. And then the puck went off to the side of the Minnesota goal again. Schmier being checked there by Hogabaum. It's Polonich coming up with a loose puck. Back to Korn. Korn with a shot. That was blocked. A good play by Schmier. Puck driven right back into the Minnesota zone. We have 8 minutes to go in the first period. 1-0 Minnesota. Now coming out Schmier, moving his way out to center ice. McAdam playing it deep into the Detroit zone. Heading back after it, John Hamel. Now Hamel trying to work out. He ran into Glenn Hicks, so Hicks came up with a puck. He's got it too far for Korn. Jim Korn trying to tie his man up, and Hamel will take it. John Hamel in behind the Detroit goal. That's Glenn Sharpley, number 7, watching him, but he got the pass away. Coming out again, Korn on the left side. Hicks was turned away from the puck, and it's dumped back into the Detroit end. Streaking after it, number 11, the rookie Tom McCarthy. Polonich chasing him. The puck dangerously out in front and knocked down. Now coming right back, Korn ahead to Polonich. Here's Dennis Polonich. The crowd on the referee a bit. They felt Polonich should have had a penalty. Now Billy Hogabaum. Hogabaum hands it off, and Hicks couldn't get loose. Coming back McCarthy. He's got Sanusi with him. The two of them over the line. And the pass broken up by Barry Long. Long played it just ahead of Hicks. Now it's Maxwell. Little less than 7 minutes to go in the first period. Puck dumped deep into the Detroit zone. There'll be an icing call as Larson is back after it. And we have a pause in the action. We'll be back with more after we pause for this.
Hey, Mom, I'm hungry. Where are the salami sticks?
Hey, honey, you got any salami sticks left?
Reinhold's Salami Sticks, the perfect snack that goes anywhere, needs no refrigeration, and tastes so good you'll come back for more and more. Reinhold's beef salami sticks are made from choice selected cuts of fresh beef, seasoned and smoked to perfection. Anytime, anywhere, enjoy the old-time salami goodness of Reinhold's original smoked beef salami sticks.
Bobby Crom looking on. He sees his team a goal behind. That quick shot by Larson, but it was knocked down before it got through. It's cleared again, too far for Fiddler, and Larson will touch it. And they whistled off the icing this time, so a shot, and Vachon reached out and grabbed that. And Barry Long and Maneri do a little shoving.
It's been a terrific first 13 minutes and 30 seconds, up and down. Vachon has been called on possibly to make the toughest of the saves, but the Wings have carried the play too, and there's been a lot of checking, a lot of real good body checking out along the boards and whatnot. And this crowd makes for a good hockey game. They're really noisy.
Now Willie Huber handing it off to Greg Jolly. Jolly coming out center ice with Mahovlich. Pass to Mahovlich over the line. He dropped it, but nobody there. And coming right back with it is Brassard. Brassard dumping it deep into the Detroit zone. Vachon stops it there for Huber. He overskated it. Moving in, though, Jolly. Now to Errol Thompson. Over on the right side, Mike Foligno. Foligno knocked off stride by Fred Barrett, then given a real whack. And blindsiding him a bit was Brad Maxwell. Coming right back, Fiddler. Mike Fiddler carrying into the Detroit zone. Goes to the corner, put it right through the goal crease. Now it came back for Schmier. The shot right on, and they score on a rebound. Right out in front, Maneri, Chris Maneri fires it home.
And it appears that the lesser lights are going to score goals. This is a play that started in along the boards. Thompson let it go back in the corner, and it comes right back out to the point. And Maxwell shoots the puck along the ice. Vachon makes the save. But the rebound bounces back out to Chris Maneri, circling right there in front, comes right back out to him, and he put it back in before Vachon could make a move. Maneri was not picked up after he circled from the behind the net. He come right out, circled, stopped about 10 feet in front.
So Chris Maneri gets his second goal on the season. Maxwell and Fiddler will draw assists at 14 minutes and 13 seconds. Fiddler playing just his second game. He broke his leg in preseason. Played here Wednesday. Puck was knocked away by Danny LeBratton. Gary Sargent takes it in. It was Schmier that fired the shot, not Maxwell. And so it is Schmier and Fiddler who draw the assists. Play right back into the Detroit zone. Now Reed Larson ahead to Nedomansky. Nedomansky over the line, and Schmier checked him. He picked it up again, but Schmier rode him right off the puck. It's dumped out to center ice. Slides back into the Detroit end, and back after it Larson. Reed Larson's pass tipped ahead by Barry Long. Played to the North Star blue line, and Gary Sargent has it there. Sobchuk ran into his man, but couldn't get away. Now it's Sargent starting back. Gary Sargent playing it along the boards in behind the Detroit net. Reed Larson after a rolling puck on the left wing now to LeBratton. He was checked, picks it up again. Now LeBratton starts out. Danny LeBratton flipped a long shot. Oh, and Meloche seemed to lose it, but it went over the top of the goal. Hartsburg. Craig Hartsburg sent it out on the left side. Mike Polich, a rink-wide pass now to McAdam. Moving over the line. That's Eves. Eves was checked, though, and here coming back is Jim Korn. Korn carried in. He really fell to the ice by Fred Barrett. Puck's held in. That's John Hamel. Hamel played it off to the side of the goal, but Steve Payne comes up with it. North Stars will take it at their own blue line. Eves, Mike Eves, playing in place of the injured Billy Smith. Or Bobby Smith, I'm sorry. Now McAdams sent it in, and the play is offside. Eves in over ahead of the pass. We'll be back after we pause for this.
Who's got the best new car warranty at no extra cost?
All cars are covered by a limited warranty, but nobody's car is covered by a full 12-month, 12,000-mile warranty except the new American Motors Concord, AMC Spirit, and AMC Pacer. All covered by the Buyer Protection Plan with the best warranty because it covers every part of your new car, even if it wears out. All at no extra cost.
American Motors, built for today, built to last for tomorrow.
A cavalcade of movie-making history explodes with the stars, the magic, the legends of Hollywood in Life Goes to the Movies, Monday night at 8 on TV 50. Face off just over the Detroit blue line. The Wings are down by 2. Now Gary Sargent clearing it off on the left side, and Schmier played it in behind the Detroit goal. Greg Jolly. Jolly moving out with a pass coming up to Paul Woods, and now Willie Huber. 3:40 to go in the period. Here's Woods over the line, and Polonich is sent in offside, but they didn't whistle it down. And a shot right on, and Meloche came up with his biggest save of the game. I kept waiting for a whistle. I think they were too. Now that's Billy Hogebaum. Played it off on the left side. Broken up by Zanussi. Bouncing around in along the boards. Jolly Zanussi hold it there for a face-off.
Well, Paul Woods made quite a play. He come right down through the center, through center ice, and it's funny, Polonich was pushed over the line just before Paul got to the blue line. It was an offside play, but the Minnesota team turned around. They made sure that Polonich wasn't jumping through, but Paul Woods had a good chance to score.
Now Gary Sargent. Schmier to center ice. Huber breaks it up there. Back to Peter Mahavlich. Mahavlich trying to gain control of it, but Schmier takes it. Paul Schmier. Mahavlich ran into him, but Gary Sargent. Sargent up on the right side to Zanussi. Now Sharpley. Here's Glenn Sharpley over the line into the Detroit zone. Sharpley carried to the corner. Huber knocked it away from him. Willie Huber having problems with Anderson, or Zanussi it is. Then Sharpley was dumped, and there'll be a penalty coming up to Willie Huber. On the delayed call, the Minnesota goaltender Meloche moves to the bench, and Brasser comes on as an extra attacker. So the North Stars have the extra man. Maxwell moves into the Detroit end. That's Zanussi. Puck knocked away by Harold Thompson. Then he's sent to the ice, and now Huber is going to be sent to the penalty box.
A bit of it.
So they score 2-0 Minnesota. We'll be back with the Minnesota power play in a moment.
Placid Games will be the ultimate in amateur winter sports competition, and the USA Hockey Team needs your help to get there. You can be part of the team by sending your tax-deductible contribution to the USA Hockey Team, P.O. Box 1439, Colorado Springs, Colorado 80901. For contributions of $100 or more, you'll receive this limited edition print of the USA Hockey Team in action. Send what you can today and help send America's best amateur hockey players to Lake Placid in February.
Willie Huber, falling down, reached out and tripped his man. The time of the tripping penalty, 17 minutes, 33 seconds. So this is the first Minnesota power play. Gary Sargent handing it off to Hartsburg. It comes back now to Sargent at the blue line. That's Hartsburg with it. Craig Hartsburg in the circle. Steve Payne off to the side of the net. Eves playing it back to the line. Gary Sargent with it. Sargent trying to turn away from McCourt's check. Eves put it out in front. McCourt knocked it away, and Paul Woods picks it up and scooped it right into the penalty box. That stops the play and brings a face-off back into the Detroit zone. Woods trying to play it off the glass, but that glass stopped, let's say, about 3 feet from where the puck went.
Well, there's an old saying when you're killing penalties, if they want to pass the puck out around the perimeter and just keep throwing it without taking a shot on net, let them go ahead and do it. Just make sure that you cover the man that's out in the slot in front of the net.
Now it came back to Sargent again at the blue line. McAdam with it. Al McAdam back on the line to Eves. Mike Eves faked the shot, gives it to Sargent. He took the shot right on. And Vachon, that shot was deflected to him. Steve Payne. Now Payne. Back on the point to Hartsburg. Gary Sargent. Off to Payne. Took the shot. Reed Larson blocked it. Didn't get it out. Hartsburg raised the side of the goalpost with it. And now Larson's going to get a penalty as he threw his man down. Play is still in the the Detroit end. Now the whistle blows. Larson will go off. And Detroit will play 2 men short for 57 seconds of time remaining in Huber's penalty.
Well, Reed Larson had made a terrific play just before that. He was on his hands and knees and stopped a shot. He couldn't push it out far enough to get it away, but now he really manhandles Payne here. He can't get a hold of him. He finally gets his arms around him. Well, he got the penalty before that, back in the corner. That was after he had manhandled him in the corner. He came up along the boards to try and knock him off the puck.
Larson,
so the Wings have 2 in there now.
Off for holding at 18 minutes and 36 seconds. And 57 seconds remaining in the penalty time to Willie Huber. Glenn Sharpley goes in again, Detroit's only forward. That's Paul Woods. Greg Jolly and Barry Long, the 2 Detroit defensemen. The Wings play 3-5 in front of the goaltenders. Barry Long rode his man off the puck. Paul Woods went into the corner after it. Sharpley gave him a rock. And Woods pulled Sharpley down. Here's Zanussi. Zanussi playing it back toward the line. Brassard held it in there. Now Brassard. Off the side of the circle to Maxwell. Greg Jolly had a stick on it, didn't control it. And a bad shot actually fired by Tom McCarthy. He had Vachon down and out of the play. Barry Long made a valiant attempt but couldn't get to the puck. Greg Jolly took a swipe at it. Detroit short 2 men. There's a shot wide of the goal. Fired there by Brassard. Maxwell's pass tipped away. It came back toward the line. With it now McCarthy. Now McCarthy turns to the circle with it. Plays it back to Brassard. Another shot, and that's deflected by Woods up into the crowd. And 6 seconds remain, and the penalty to Willie Huber.
And that Paul Woods does quite a job.
Listen, fans, remember Saturday, December 1st, is Michigan Bell Sports Phone Poster Calendar Night. Each person attending the game is going to receive a poster free from Michigan Bell.
You know, when you're playing 3 against 5, you really have to have someone out that's going from point to point and back and forth, and Paul Woods is a perfect example of in constant motion and caused Minnesota to make plays that they didn't want to make. And then he finally blocked a shot when they tried to take the shot on net.
Dale McCourt skating over to the penalty box with a message for Willie Huber. If the Red Wings can hold the North Stars off the board, he'll be out in 6 seconds. Now, there's a shot by Eves, deflected wide of the net. Barry Long took a swing at it. Huber's back on. Here's Gary Sargent. Sargent with a shot, hit the goalpost. Rolled it off the goalpost. In behind the net, Greg Jolly trying to hold it there. It came loose. Then Dale McCourt covered up. Jolly went in after it. North Stars battle to control it deep in the Detroit end. They're down on top of the puck. And the play stays to the left of Rogie Vachon with now 46 seconds remaining in the penalty to Larson. Greg Jolly has done quite a job since he's returned to the Red Wings from their farm club where he's been a couple of weeks, and he'll be guesting with Sid Abel between the first and second periods of this hockey game. Not big. Came into the National Hockey League, Sid, to probably the worst team in the league at the time and the #1 draft choice and the first big draft that was held in expansion, and I think really too much expected of him.
And they tried to make a forward of him that made it really tough. We talked about that.
So the Wings win the draw, and the buzzer goes to end the first period. So Detroit did hold off a two-man advantage for the Minnesota North Stars. Here is the first period scoring summary brought to you by Magnavox and Fredder Appliance Stores. It was Tom Youngins scoring at 5:06 of the period when Eric Anderson knocked the puck away from the Wings right at the Detroit blue line and fed perfectly to Youngins, who was wide open to the side of Rogie Vachon and jammed it in. Youngins from Anderson and Polic at 5:06. Then Polonich and Zanussi went off together for roughing at 6:26. Barrett went in for interference at 9:06, and Detroit did no damage with him off. Then Maneri scored from Schmier and Fiddler at 14:13 when Schmier fired a shot. Vachon made the save, and Maneri jammed in the rebound. Willie Huber went off at 17:33, and then Reed Larson followed him in. For 57 seconds, the Wings were 2 men short, but they fought it off. So Larson will still have 36 seconds of his penalty to serve when the second period gets underway. So that's it, the end of the first period with a score, Minnesota North Stars 2, the Detroit Red Wings 0.
This Bud's for every man who works with fire and steel.
This Bud's for you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do, this Bud's for you.
First, Little Caesars introduced Pizza Pizza. 2 medium pizzas for the price of 1. And you ate it up. Now, Pizza Pizza goes all the way. Small, medium, and large. For any size appetite, any size wallet.
Mushrooms.
Because you can feed a lot of hungry mouths.
Pepperoni.
Without spending a lot of money.
Pizza. Double cheese, double cheese, double cheese, double cheese.
Little Caesars Pizza Pizza. 3 good ways for pizza that's twice as good.
Well, we talked about defenseman Greg Jolly, who missed most of last season with a broken left wrist. And after a brief tour of duty earlier this year with the Adirondack Red Wings, Greg returned to the Red Wing lineup and has played perhaps his best since joining the Wings. Sid Abel talked to Greg after a practice last Tuesday.
Greg, in 1974, you were the outstanding junior hockey player in Canada, selected as #1 draft by Washington. But you had trouble over there. Can you want to explain some of that?
Well, yeah, I did have my share of problems. I don't think it was entirely all me, but it was, the organization in a whole. They were an expansion team, and I don't think they were quite ready for a National Hockey League franchise, and it was mass confusion most of the time, and it didn't work out, and I forgot it all now, and I'm just happy to be here.
Well, you're not considered big for a defenseman, but you handle the puck so well. As I understand it, they tried to make a forward out of you. You've always been a defenseman, though, haven't you?
Yeah, that's right. We were short on, centerman forwards, and they wanted me to try center, and I tried it, and, it's tough to adapt to any new position, especially, your first couple years in the league. It's tough to play the position that you're even used to, so I had a tough time trying to play center, and I didn't like it, and I wanted to play defense, and they didn't seem to think that's where they wanted me to play, but I talked them into it, and they stuck by me to play defense, and center wasn't my position at all.
Well, Greg, Ted Lindsay and Bobby Crom, I know, are very happy with your play here in Detroit. Last year, we'll go back to last year, you suffered a very, very bad injury, hurting your wrist, which curtailed a lot of your play.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I broke it the year before in the playoffs, and consequently I was out for most of the year. I only got in 20 games, so it takes a lot out of you when you miss a whole year, and now I'm just happy to be back. I'm trying to work hard to stay in shape and to regain some of the stuff that I did lose.
Now, another setback. After coming back, they decided that you weren't quite in shape, and they sent you down to their farm club, the Adirondack Red Wings. Did you find that that helped you, Greg, where you got more skating?
Well, you know, I got the ice time, and that's what I needed. Nobody likes to go down, but I went down with the idea to work hard and get in better shape, and I played, you know, 40, 45 minutes a game, and I really needed the ice time, and I think it helped me out a lot.
Well, there's no doubt about that. Last Saturday night, in the New York Islanders, and listen, and I've seen you play some real good hockey games, but I thought you played the greatest game of hockey that you have as a Red Wing. Are you feeling more comfortable up here now?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. You know, I got in shape, and you know, you got to be skating to play well, and I feel that I'm skating well, and you know, it was a good team effort that night, and I happened to play a pretty good game, you know, I thought, but you know, it's easy to play well when the team's playing very well, and you know, the name of the game is skating, and when you're in shape and you're able to skate and go for your full minute shift, you know, things are usually going to turn out well for you.
All right, Coach Bobby Crom on that particular night did something that he hasn't done all season too. He used two of his defensemen, Perry Miller and Jean Hamel, occasionally as forwards, so that rotated 4 defensemen. Now, you being a defenseman, do you like a lot of ice time like that, where you're playing and it doesn't really matter who you're playing with?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you know, the more ice time you get, you know, you feel like you're in the game more and you're ready, and you know, it's tough when you're sitting on the bench for 4 or 5 shifts, and then you got to get out there. Your legs are cold, and you're not mentally prepared to go out, you know. But whatever he decides to do, he's the coach, and you can't second guess whatever he wants to do. And if he wants to spot shift some of us defensemen on left wing, you know, as long as we're going to get the ice time, we can't complain.
Greg, I know you're from Western Canada. Do you still make the Golden West your home?
Oh yeah, I make my home in Calgary year-round, and I enjoy it a lot. It's very nice and quiet, and got a lot of relatives and friends there, and we really enjoy it.
Married and family?
Oh yeah, married and got a little boy.
All right. Would you want your little boy to be a National League hockey player?
Well, whatever he decides to do, I'm not going to pressure him or you know, put him into anything he decides to do is fine with me.
Greg Jolly, thanks ever so much for taking time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And for being our guest on Red Wing Hockey, Puritan Sportswear would like to present Greg with a handsome sweater and sports shirt ensemble. Puritan, America's standard of quality in men's sportswear. Puritan is available at fine stores everywhere. The end of the first period, Minnesota 2, Detroit nothing. We'll return to the Met Center here in Bloomington in just a moment.
The great search for a bigger, better hot dog is over, because Peschke has it. Peschke's Great American Hot Dog bursts with flavor. Flavor that actually won an independent taste test by almost 2 to 1. In regular or a new super size that really fills up the bun. So go to your supermarket and say, I won't take anything less than the Great American Hot Dog.
Great American.
An energy message from Amoco.
Nobody likes waiting in line, and it's worse in the unemployment line. Among the many reasons people don't have jobs is America's dependence on foreign oil. The money sent overseas for foreign oil has cost Americans thousands of jobs in a wide range of industries. Amoco wants to do its part to help change this by searching for more American oil. The money spent for American oil stays in America, helping create jobs for Americans. America runs better on American oil.
Can I offer you a Coke, sir?
No.
7-Up, some coffee?
No.
Something a little stronger.
No. I'd rather Werner's.
No matter what else you got, don't get caught with your burners down.
Wherever you're going, it's nice to know Werner's is there. Nothing can replace Werner's mysteriously refreshing taste. Absolutely nothing.
Don't get caught with your Werner's down.
And so we join you again from here at the Met Center, Bloomington, Minnesota, the home of the Minnesota North Stars. And Sid, we watched a period of hockey in which the Red Wings were outshot 7-5 and outscored 2-0, and it was again a case of opposition taking advantage of what comes their way, and the Red Wings just not able to click and finish plays.
Bruce, it was an exciting period of hockey, though. It was rough. This Minnesota club keep coming after you. The Wings did make a couple of mistakes, though, and when you make mistakes against a club that is hustling and working, they're going to score goals. You couldn't fault the goaltender. McCourt in the first goal was coming out towards the blue line. The puck probably should have been got out over the blue line, but it didn't. And first thing you know, it's back and it's in the net. But the Wings, I thought, put up more of a fight in that period than they have in the last game or two, because they were getting bumped around, and especially the young ones, Hicks and Paul Woods and Foligno. The kids were really getting bounced around, and they seemed to want to come back, and it made for a real good period of hockey.
Sid, I would, and I don't want to sound like I'm a pure homer, which I guess I am. Both of us are from time to time. But the Red Wings are playing the sixth of a 6-game road swing. They opened the 6-game road swing at New York's Madison Square Garden, played a heck of a hockey game there, tied it up 2-2 late in the third period, and ended up losing it 3-2. They went on to Washington, and the Capitals had a brand new coach there, and boy, they were higher than kites, and the Wings came up and defeated them 4-2. They went into the island at New York and whipped the New York Islanders by a score I'm trying to think of 5-4 at that particular time. They held on to win it. They then opened up the second half of their trip away from home, and they played the Atlanta Flames. They lost that hockey game, but Sid, they outshot Atlanta. They just did not take advantage of some scoring chances, but they were in the game right up till the very end.
Well, that's the big thing, Bruce. In Atlanta in the first period, the Wings had enough scoring chances to win any hockey game, but they didn't capitalize on their chances, and it seems they're snake betting. Every time they make a mistake, the other team jumps on them. I thought last night in Colorado, I didn't think they played near as well as they had in Atlanta, but they still had dozens of scoring chances, and Bill McKenzie made a few lucky saves. There were other times they had him right out of the net, but then they couldn't put it back in the open net. In the meantime, every time Colorado come down, they'd make 2 or 3 passes. A defenseman would get pulled out of position, or a forward get pulled out of position, and Colorado would score. So consequently, they lose the game 5-2.
Well, it was one sudden burst, if you missed it, in the first period last night. I guess it was the first period,
yes,
yeah.
4 goals.
That 4 goals were scored in a period of 3 minutes and 37 seconds. The 5th goal for Colorado was scored into an empty net with just a few seconds remaining. Bobby Crom, after the game, was bemoaning the fact that he counted at least 6, maybe 7, maybe 8 times the Red Wings had McKenzie down, out of the net, a wide open goal, and just plain missed their scoring chance.
You know, when I think of, on 2 occasions, Danny LeBratton, and I talk an awful lot about Danny LeBratton because he skates well. I think he gets hit probably oftener than anybody on the club, and he's not a very big boy. But on 2 occasions last night, he made plays that Guy Lafleur in Montreal couldn't make. He walked out of the corner, he went around 2 or 3 defensemen, he pulled the goaltender out of position, and he had the entire net to put it back in. And then when he'd throw it back on his backhand, it was just as if it isn't supposed to go in there, and he would miss it or throw it by the open corner. Another occasion, he went around behind the net and come back the way years ago Gordie Howe used to, and then jam it before the goaltender could get around. He did that last night, and he had the goaltender beaten, but he didn't put the puck in the net. And unless you put it in, you can't score goals, and consequently, you go down again.
Errol Thompson, who's known as a goal scorer, twice last night missed the open net. Dale McCourt, who usually is on target, he on 2 occasions. It's just been that sort of a thing. But I guess what I was trying to say when I started it all is the fact that Detroit have been in the games that they have played. They've not been complete pushovers, and now when you walk into a rink, you know that the teams are figuring that they're going to be in a hockey game.
Well, they're going to be in a hockey game because, after all, the Wings can skate. They have some size, and they're getting excellent goaltending. So goaltending alone will keep you in hockey games. Here, you're playing the 6th game of a 6-game road trip. You're playing against probably the hottest club in hockey. They've only lost 1 game here at the Met Center all year. So the Wings, knowing coming in here today, they knew that they were going to have to skate. They know they're going to have to pick up their checks and work. They're down 2. I hope they don't get their daubers down and come out now and figure, well, we're at least going home tomorrow, and we'll have to start fresh at home. This game is still up for grabs. If they can score a goal or score the next goal, I think we'll see 40 minutes of real good hockey.
Hey, I'll tell you something. They're going home tomorrow, but they're not going home to easy pickings because Tuesday night they've got the Montreal Canadiens coming into town. Saturday night, the Boston Bruins. Then they leave on our next telecast next Sunday night against Philadelphia Flyers at Philadelphia, a team that just won't be beaten. So offhand, I'd say Detroit might be better off on the road right now than the big 2 games they've got coming up at Olympia, which should be both great hockey games.
Right. Bruce, I'm going to ask you a question. Now, we haven't seen all the teams, but we've seen the Montreal teams, and we've seen Philadelphia, and we've seen the Rangers and the Islanders and Atlanta, and this Minnesota club, our second occasion to see them. In your estimation, what's the best hockey club we've seen so far this year?
I'd have to say Montreal. I just, when you got a guy like...
You're a Montreal lover.
No, I'm not really, but when you've got a Guy Lafleur and a Larry Robinson and the rest of that crew, Steve Shutt, to me, they're a formidable hockey team, though I grant you that there are other teams with better records right now, but I just feel before this hockey season is over, there you're going to find the best record.
Well, I believe that too, but I'm not going to go along with you. I don't believe they're going to have the best record because I don't think that Philadelphia and Boston are going to collapse. Boston are sitting up there with 30-some points. Philadelphia, 30-some points. Philadelphia have only lost one game this year. Even we've talked about the Philadelphia defense maybe being something questionable with fellows that just because we didn't know them as great hockey players. But they have played 20 games or 19 games now, and they're still sitting there with only one loss. So I think Philadelphia is a club that's going to have to be reckoned with.
You think they're going to be about 70-4 then, at the end of the season, do you?
No, but I would think that they'll probably come up with 90-some points, and I don't know if Montreal can come up with 90-some points without the Drydens and the Cornwallis and Lavers and fellows like that, and a new coach.
Well, do you think Philadelphia's goaltending is that much stronger than Montreal's?
No, I would question Montreal's goaltending. Heron and Larocque, Philadelphia's too. Let's get out of this.
Well, it'll be interesting to see who's right and who's wrong when it all comes to an end. It'll probably be something else. There again, we could point out the same old thing. Detroit went in back-to-back into Montreal, lost that game by a goal, was in it till the end, and lost by one single goal at Philadelphia too earlier in the season. So we've had fun with the Wings on the road, though playing 13 out of their first 19 games away from home. They have not embarrassed themselves, I'd say, though the record is nothing to write home about.
Well, the Wings are going to win hockey games, and it's an unfortunate thing they'd have to play this many games at the start of a season, because when you're trying out, like here's a boy, Jim Korn, joining the club, a local boy, no doubt. He's got heart palpitations tonight playing in front of his home crowd and everything. He's thrown out there with, say, a Greg Jolly or Willie Huber, someone that he hasn't really had a chance to work things out with. And you're going to make mistakes, and I think Bobby Crom and Ted Lindsay realize these kids are going to make mistakes, but if you're going to make mistakes, you're better off to make them with kids that are trying to play hockey than with veterans that are just going through the motions.
Very good. I think I should point out that they generally allow 15 minutes for the intermission time between periods of a hockey game, the National Hockey League. But for about 5, 6, 7 minutes earlier on here, they had a little ice show going on with a local ice skating club, and it was a very good one, where they didn't start the 15-minute intermission until that was all over. So Sid and I have maybe taken up a little more of your time than you had wished. But we're going to tell you that we're looking forward to still a good 40 solid minutes of hockey. The score here, the Minnesota North Stars 2, the Detroit Red Wings nothing. We'll be back with the second period in just a moment.
These lines determine how sharp your color TV picture will be. They're called lines of resolution. And the more lines, the sharper the picture. Magnavox has 25% more lines for a 25% sharper color picture than ever before possible. Magnavox. We make staying home fun.
You can see the entire 1980 lineup of Magnavox high-resolution color televisions at all Fredder appliance locations.
Makes me feel good. Something fresh. Makes me feel nice. That's the way it should be. And I'd like to see the whole world smiling with me. Coca-Cola as life. Have a coconut smile.
So we are with you again from here at the Met Center, the Bloomington, Minnesota, home of the Minnesota North Stars. In the first period, the shots on goal find the North Stars with 7 and the Detroit Red Wings with 5. And the difference really in the shots on goal, though not the difference in the scoring, with the fact the Red Wings were 2 men short for 57 seconds late in that period when Willie Huber and Reed Larson were off together. Huber has come back on, the Wings fought it off, and Larson has still 36 seconds of his penalty time remaining. There's Rogie Vachon, and Sid, I would be in complete agreement with you that he had little or no chance in either of the 2 goals scored in that first period. One was, he was making the play on one man, and Youngins was so open on the other side of the net with nobody near him. And then a rebound again.
And in a way, you have to, I would think that he would consider himself to be quite fortunate, because they hit the post on 1 or 2 occasions. On another occasion, they had him flat on his back, and they put the puck by the open net. So 2 goals scored, and I would think Rogie's happy with that.
Well, we'll take a moment right now to tell you that you are watching Detroit Red Wing hockey on WKBD TV 50 in Detroit. Joe Malosh, who is being surrounded by the North Stars right now. And Mr. Larson was still 38 seconds to serve in his penalty time.
Born and raised right within 2 or 3 miles of this building, and it must be a real thrill for him to come home and play in front of probably, I would estimate, 14,000 to 15,000 people. A big hero here in Minnesota.
And so we are set to go with period number 2. Detroit short a man with Dale McCord and Paul Woods. Penalty killers along with Greg Jolly and Very Long. Play goes into the Detroit zone. Jones Zanussi, number 9, was left for Sharpley. There's Sharpley right out in front, knocked away. Another shot by Blasner, but over the top of the goal. Maxwell held it in, and then Paul Woods intercepts a centering pass and brings it out to center ice. Plays it off to Dale McCord. He sent it back to Woods. They whistled it down offside. 11 seconds remaining in Larson's penalty. Well, he works hard, this young man. Doesn't score a lot of goals. Doesn't do anything really spectacular, but you know he's there every moment.
I would like to have 15 like him, but he just goes all the time he's out there. He makes things happen, and that's what you want in a hockey club.
Now it's Nedemansky and LeBratton. A late change from the Minnesota bench, and the referee Hogarth is not going to allow it. Schmier was coming out to replace Brassard, but the North Stars will remain with 4 forwards on a power play combination. This is Maxwell. Brad Maxwell moving his way to center ice, dumping it deep into the Detroit zone. Vachon stopping it behind the goal, played it away from McCarthy. Now Larson is back on, wings are at full strength. Play deep in the Detroit end. Danny LeBratton takes the bump along the boards. It came loose. Sharply back on the line to Maxwell. Maxwell drilled that shot, knocked down in front. Puts it just off to the side of the Detroit goal. Coming out with it now is LeBratton. LeBratton checked. It did slide out center ice. Maxwell laid it back to his own blue line. Back after it, Paul Schmier ahead to Sharpley. Now Sharpley backhands it into the Detroit zone, and Very Long heads back after it. Sweeping it over on the left side to LeBratton. Danny LeBratton ahead to Sobchuk. Sobchuk moved in. He tried to work away. He was grabbed by Barrett, and they play one in behind the Minnesota goal, and Barrett now comes out with it. Brett Barrett. His pass knocked away from Anderson. Nedemansky put it right back to Anderson. Now it's cleared to Barrett on the left side to Schmier. 2-0 Minnesota. That's Youngins who got it to the Detroit line. Jim Korn cleared it ahead to Sobchuk. Dennis Sobchuk handing it back now to Very Long. Long is moving over the center ice line. Fires it into the Minnesota zone. Schmier sent it back to the line. Hamel stops it there. His pass off a skate back out center ice. Errol Thompson with it. Now Thompson looking for Foligno. It went off his skate. Youngins checked there by Thompson. Errol Thompson dropping it back for Hamel. John Hamel, his pass intercepted by Schmier. Played it back into the Detroit zone. Korn sent it to the line. It's picked up there by Thompson. He's got Hamel coming up, but the pass stopped right at the Minnesota blue line. Now with it is Foligno. Foligno's pass off Thompson's skate, and Thompson finally just turns around and golfs it into the North Stars end. Play a little sloppy. Right back to the Detroit blue line now, Jean Hamel. That's Jim Korn. The youngster turning at the Detroit line. His pass tipped away. Foligno didn't come back after it. Schmier, though, was stopped by Hamel. Now, over the line, Foligno fired the shot right off Barrett. In behind the goal. It comes out on the open wing. Giving chase to it was McAdam. Mahovlich slowed him up. Mahovlich held it in. But his pass is broken up, and McAdam. He's intercepted by Mahovlich. Here's Mahovlich with a shot. And Barrett went low and blocked that. Mahovlich sent Eves spinning into the corner. Dennis Polonich. It came back to the line. Larson with a shot that went wide. Now McAdam. McAdam's pass tipped out to center ice. Back after it, Larson. Larson and Korn. Now it's intercepted. Here's Steve Payne moving back in. Payne, he's got a man open. McAdams, and the pass was just too far in front of him. It came right back out. There's a shot by Hartsburg, and Vachon stopped that one. Now Korn, he's been on a long time. Played it to the line, but not out. After it, Reed Larson. They're stepping into one another. Peter Mahavlich and Payne battling. Coming out now, Polonich over the line into the North Star zone. Polonich with a shot that went wide. Billy Hogebaum giving chase to it. He played here in Minnesota. It's held in by Reed Larson right out in front. And Hicks doing battle. Got it back to the line. Very long with a weak shot. In behind the goal, Hicks, and Hicks couldn't reach it. Now the North Stars start out again. That's Al McAdam into the Detroit zone with a shot wide. And he's come to the ice, and there's going to be a penalty coming up to Larson again. As Vachon grabs a loose puck, it'll be called. And the Red Wings now will play short a man as they do a little jabbing out in front of the Detroit goal. But Larson bowled over the man, and I believe it's Larson who's going to draw the penalty. So with a pause in the action, 2-0 Minnesota. Will be back in a moment.
Hey, look, Bill got a new wagon. It's my 1980 Jeep Cherokee.
Oh, an ordinary wagon isn't good enough, huh?
Hey, my Cherokee rides real smooth. It's roomy, hauls heavier gear, and of course it's got four-wheel drive. And Cherokee gets about the same gas mileage as your full-size two-wheel drive wagons.
Jeep Cherokee. It takes you off the blacktop and puts you on top of the world.
See all the new 1980s at your Metro Detroit AMC Jeep dealer.
Reed Larson gets the penalty, but let me tell you, there were a lot of things went on down on the other end just prior to this. Larson got his stick up in McAdam's face, knocked him back down backwards, but just before that, Reed tried to make a play coming out of the corner in the Minnesota end, and he passed the puck across, and they actually lassoed a player and pulled him down, and everything went. So I think he just got a little frustrated and figured, well, if they can get away with it down on that end, let's see if we can do things down on our end. So
he's off for interference. 4 minutes and 15 seconds, and that is the third penalty in a row to the Red Wings. Now Maxwell. He hands it back to Brasser. Brasser's pass tipped away by McCourt, but didn't come out. Sharpley put it right on the stick of Woods. Still Detroit failed to work it out. Now Tom McCarthy. McCarthy playing it back to the line. A shot by Brasser, deflected just wide. Very long, bumped into McCarthy. It's dug away by Sharpley. Sharpley right out in front, and it's intercepted there by McCourt. Dale McCourt ahead to Paul Woods. Woods over the line into the Minnesota zone, trying to work around Brassard. Went in behind the goal, and that's Sharpley coming out with a minute 20 left in the Detroit penalty. Now Zanussi works his way into the Detroit zone. McCarthy back to Brassard over on the right side. That shot by Maxwell, drilled wide. And Woods got a stick on it. He's grabbed by Brassard. And he finally just gloved it out to center ice. And then Jolly was held up going after a rolling puck, and they're grabbing and holding both ways. Maxwell handing it off to McCarthy. That's Zanussi moving into the Detroit zone with a backhand shot. Long deflected that away. Very Long went in after it. Paul Woods took a bump. The puck still bouncing around in the Detroit end. It's held for a face-off. The rim of the circle to the right of the Detroit goal.
And a terrific job by Woods and McCourt, along with Jolly and Very Long, killing this penalty. They've had Minnesota throwing the puck back and forth, but not getting too much on the net.
Greg Jolly is really questioning the referee, Hogarth. He was grabbed and held trying to cut across that line.
Well, I still say Hogarth, we had him last night. I don't like this in hockey when you have a referee, and Bobby Crom was a little put out last night the way things went. And to have him right back for another road game, the same crew, I don't think that's right in hockey.
Here's Gary Sargent. Sargent dumping it off to McAdam. Comes back to Sargent. Sargent's pass broken up by Mahavlich. Now Jolly going after it. Steve Payne ran him into the boards. It goes into the corner. Played back toward the line. Eaves, Mike Eaves played it back now to Hartman. Sargent's pass to Eaves. He overskated it. Very Long couldn't get it out. There's Eaves. Power play goal, 3-0.
Well, that's the breaks of hockey. The Wings had possession of the puck again, and it hit a stick and bounced right back to the other player. And a real good play back out to Eaves. I don't know just which Minnesota player makes the play, but the Wings had possession of the puck right there, and it bounced off his leg. Very Long couldn't get to it. It comes back out to Eaves. It was McAdam that made the play, I believe, 25. Give it to 18, and he put it in. After doing such a tremendous job of killing the penalty, but persistent forechecking by Minnesota causes things to happen.
That's Eaves' first goal.
This boy was just brought up from Oklahoma City to take the spot of a couple of players that are injured.
Sargent and McAdam draw the assists on the goal. He's first on a power play at 5 minutes and 57 seconds. So now Detroit trailing by 3. Sobchuk won the face-offs. That's Jim Korn dumping it out to center ice, and Barrett has it there. Back on his own blue line, it comes to Paul Schmier. Broken up by Sobchuk. Sobchuk got it to the line. Schmier stopped him there. Hamel pinned in along the boards. Puck drawn away, but coming up with it now over the line is Anderson. Here's Anderson with a shot. He fired it wide. Barrett will hold it in at the blue line. He let one go, knocked down by Korn. Now Jim Korn heads out. And the play went in offside as Korn stick handled his way to the line. And they'll come back out over the Minnesota blue line.
We have some people here from Detroit, Cindy, Annette, and Rick. They want to say hi to their family and friends, and also to all the group, the Forum Club back in Detroit. They're members, I guess, of the Forum Club.
Dennis Sobchuk, he is centering Nedomansky and LeBreton. Play goes deep into the North Star zone. Sobchuk went in, tied up Schmier. That keeps the face off to the left of the Minnesota goal, and Bobby Crom is using Dennis Sobchuk in between LeBreton and Nedomansky on occasions now, rather than Dale McCourt.
And he started this last night in Colorado, and although Dale was out killing the penalty, so...
Yeah, but he's been a while.
But he has used Sobchuk, and Sobchuk has looked fairly good playing with these two players.
Face off to the left of Gilles Meloche in the North Star goal. 6 shots for Minnesota and none for the Red Wings at this stage of the period. 3-0, Minnesota leads the hockey game. Sobchuk won the face-off. Nedomansky, his pass away from everybody. Hamel knocked it back in offside. So they'll come back out over the North Star blue line. We have played 6 minutes 50 seconds of the second period.
Now we have some scores from out of town. St. Louis are leading Colorado 2-1 in the first. Boston and Montreal are tied 1-1. Chicago and Toronto are tied in the first 1-1. Hartford are leading Quebec 3-0 in the first period. Pittsburgh 3, New York Rangers 3 in the second period.
Face off out over the North Stars blue line. Puck stayed right there. Polic handed it off to Anderson, but LeBreton took it away from him. Now Willie Huber. Huber's pass bounced away from LeBreton. John Hamel given a bump by Barrett. Barrett's been bumping people, number 3 for the North Stars. That puck is still in along the board. Sobchuk dug it loose, and making a run at him was Schmier. And the North Stars bounce it to the line, not out. And then Hamel couldn't keep it in. Here's Polic. Mike Polic. He was checked from behind neatly by LeBreton, who feeds ahead to Sobchuk. Now Dennis Sobchuk turning at center ice. Sobchuk faked the shot, and he put LeBreton offside, but the puck came back out. Drilled right back into the North Stars zone. Paul Schmier, the Minnesota captain, number 6. Clearing it ahead to Maxwell, and now Polic. Mike Polic rattling it off the glass. It caroms in behind the Detroit net, and Barry Long has it there. Here's Barry Long ahead on the left side to LeBreton. He's been on a long time. Nedomansky up the right side. Nedomansky, and it's Brassard that shoved him off the puck. And the North Stars have it in their own zone as Chris Maneri hands it to Maxwell. Rod Maxwell scooping it into the Detroit end. The play offside. A pause in the action. 3-0 Minnesota. We'll be back after this.
This Bud's for everybody who helps keep our country on the move.
This Bud's for you. You're working hard all day just like you always do.
This Bud's for you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you, that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
Well, it's Bing and Bob and Dorothy Lamour, The Road to Morocco, tomorrow's 8 o'clock movie on TV 50. Peter Mahovlich with Foligno and Errol Thompson. Mahovlich won the draw. Larson played it over 2 lines to Foligno. It'll come back inside the Detroit blue line. North Stars have Brassard, Maneri, and Fiddler up front. They accounted for the second Minnesota goal. Played deep into the Detroit end, very long. Fired it to the line, but Maxwell held it in. Kicking around in the corner, Long and Maneri, they hold it there, and the whistle stops the play. The puck was loose. Face-off will be to the left side of Brody Vachon.
I just have one more group, Bruce, that come up and wanted to be reminded to the folks back home. Bruce Kovan, Mark Kozakowski, Jim McDonald, Tom McDonald, and all of the McDonald family. They want to say hi to all their friends back in Detroit. They're real Red Wing fans living up in this area now.
Peter Mahavlich in against Brassard now in the circle off to the left of the Detroit goal. North Stars have control. That's Brad Maxwell playing it in behind the Detroit net. Fiddler went in, took a bump from Barry Long. Puck still among skates. Fiddler knocked down by Long. Then Long fell down, played it ahead to Errol Thompson, and Thompson just shoots it out center ice. And that's Maxwell at his own blue line. Hartsburg. Pass broken up by Larson. It came back now to Thompson on the right side to Foligno. Big Mike moving in. Here's Foligno swinging in behind the goal, playing it back now for Barry Long. Long fired it behind the net again. Foligno fell down. Harold Thompson took a bump, got it back to Reed Larson. Larson handing it off to Barry Long again. Long's pass broken up, and the North Stars cleared it to the line, but not out. Foligno is dumped, and there'll be a penalty coming up to Maxwell now. And the North Stars will play short a man, and we'll be back with the Detroit power play in a moment.
An energy message from Amoco.
Remember when you could get 2 bags of groceries for what you now pay for one? Obviously, there are many causes of inflation. One of the most significant has been the huge jump in the cost of imported oil. The people at Amoco want to produce more American oil to help fight the inflation caused by foreign oil. The money spent for American oil stays in America. And that's a good way to help preserve the value of your dollar. America runs better on American oil.
Foligno tries to come across out in front, and Maxwell just gets his stick and arms wrapped up in his waist and pulls him down. And just prior to that, I thought they could have called a penalty on the North Star goaltender for tripping Foligno behind the net.
Willie Huber holds it in, shoots it into the corner, going in Dale McCord along with Larson. Larson had the skate on it. Gary Sargent has him tied up. McCord got into it, but the North Stars come out with it. Stopped at the line by Willie Huber. Here's Huber. His pass off to Netamansky, and he fanned on the shot, and Huber had him set up. Now Netamansky takes another pass. Back on the line, Reed Larson drilled that wide. LeBratton battles to hold it in. Out in front to Dale McCourt. McCourt turns with it. Handed it off to Netamansky, and he put it right on the stick of the North Star player Youngins, who shoots it down the ice. And Mr. Netamansky has been having his problems thus far in the hockey game. Now it comes out to McCourt. LeBratton up the left side. Danny LeBratton over the line with Gary Sargent ahead of him. LeBratton dropped it back for Huber. Willie Huber being checked. The puck lay right along the boards. Now Huber dug it out of the corner, took a heavy bump there, and Huber took a swing at the North Star player, Smear. And Smear had him pretty well wrapped up, but I think Huber's going to draw the penalty as they get together in the corner. Smear had the elbow up a little high, and Huber came across with a swing at him like a big bear cub, but I think he's going to go off.
I believe so, and he really did take a swing. But this has been a rough, chippy hockey game, and they're trading bodies. It's been a very, very exciting game, and this crowd is really behind them.
Well, see
now,
what
along the boards, they're just digging. That's Willie Huber coming up for the puck now, and Schmear's the one that's coming in with the helmet on.
Look at
now
that.
He takes a dive at him, and he gets his hands up in his face, but then Willie really let go with one good punch. It's right about now, I believe, or possibly just before this.
Yeah, it was before that.
The swing, and Willie Huber is a strong boy, 6'5", 220 pounds.
Tell me Schmear didn't make a run at him, though.
He sure did.
Face-off comes out over the Minnesota blue line. Netamansky now with LeBratton, Larson, and Korn. Puck got by Korn, slides back into the Detroit zone. Korn played it into the corner. Reed Larson comes after it. He's tied up right there by Fiddler. Gets it loose for Netamansky. Now that's Korn. It bounced away from him. Korn again. He dumped it. Fiddler has it. Mike Fiddler overskated it. Korn gave him a little bump in the back. It came back to the North Stars blue line. 35 seconds remaining in the Minnesota penalty. Then they'll have the extra man. Play went right to Vachon. He steers it to Nedemansky. He returned it back. It was goal. Took a heavy bump from Fiddler. Now Fiddler and Nedemansky go in along the boards. Puck stayed right there in the corner. Nedemansky hit it right off the side of his own goal. Now Fiddler centering pass broken up by Larson. Larson turns with it and leads the rush out. Here's Larson. He's got LeBratton on the left side. The pass to LeBratton. It bounces into the corner. LeBratton went in after it, and Barrett whammed him one. Now Larson dug it away. Put it out in front. Larson couldn't get to it the second time, and Fiddler picks it up at center ice. Over on the right side. That's Brad Maxwell turning with it. He's back on. The North Stars at full strength. Right on. And Vachon clears that away. Long center ice pass onside LeBratton. He's over the line. One man back. LeBratton had to pull up as Hartman had him all tied up. Coming right back now, Maxwell. Over the line sharply. He was stopped a bit. There's a pass out in front. Very long. Stopped it the first time. Maxwell has it. Maxwell, a centering pass. Vachon made the save. Another save by Vachon. It came back to the line. Hartsburg. Hartsburg to Sharpley. Sharpley turns with it. Pass knocked away by Hogebaum. Now a quick pass from LeBratton. Hogebaum and LeBratton. LeBratton is one tired boy. Over the line, and the North Stars take it there. 5 seconds left in Huber's penalty. Now Sharpley moves into the Detroit zone. Then Sharpley played it back toward the line. Hogebaum was dumped to the ice. Back on is Huber. Willie Huber gets a pass ahead, and Woods just couldn't catch up to it. Now Maxwell back to Sharpley. Sharpley played it back out center ice. With it there, McCarthy. And they whistle the play down on a long offside. So a pause in the action. It's 3-0 Minnesota. We'll be back in a moment.
The great search for a bigger, better hot dog is over because Peschke has it. Peschke's Great American Hot Dog bursts with flavor. Flavor that actually won an independent taste test by almost 2-1. In regular or a new super size that really fills up the bun. So go to your supermarket and say, I won't take anything less than the Great American Hot Dog.
Great American.
Well, you're taking a look at part of a packed house here at the Met Center in Bloomington, Minnesota. Red Wings trail it by a score of 3-0. Teams are back at full strength. 7.5 minutes to play in this, the second period. This is Gary Sargent charging back into the Detroit zone. His shot wide of the net. Dennis Polonich took it in behind his own goal. Now Polonich lost it out in front, and Vachon made the save off McAdam. Played back into the corner. Mike Eves giving chase there. He tied up very long. McAdam took a bump from Sobchuk. The puck's still loose, and it's cleared now to Hicks. Hicks just shot it out center ice. Schmier has it there. Gary Sargent playing it off the boards. Paul Schmier. Now this is Eves going back into the Detroit zone. Eves whistled that shot wide. It comes back to Schmier at the left point. Another shot, and Vachon grabbed that, and he holds on to it.
And that's just constant pressure by Minnesota. They don't give you a minute to really get your breath when they got you on the run in there, and they keep throwing the puck. You know, and a boy that's playing well for Minnesota is Eves, too. They just keep the puck in. The puck comes back out to the point. Finally, it's shot, and Rogie just grabbed it and figured, well, I better get a little stoppage of play here to cool things down for a bit.
Well, the Red Wings at this stage of the second period, with 13 minutes and 11 seconds having gone by, have 1 shot on goal, and the North Stars have 10. Which would indicate the way the play is going, I guess.
Yes, they've been down here really putting pressure on.
Now they came out in front. There's Sharp, or rather Fiddler with it. But it got trapped up in the pads of the defenseman Jim Korn. It's whistled down. And a face-off will stay to the right of the Detroit goal.
And Jim Korn has handled himself all right tonight. He's getting a lot of action, and he hasn't had a place out there.
Now here's Reed Larson taking it away. He's got Errol Thompson on the left side, but he elected to carry it, and Thompson was way offside.
Well, that's a mistake by both of them. Errol Thompson should have known, though, too, when it got up within 3 or 4 feet of the blue line, he wasn't going to get the pass. It's up to him then to pull up and let Reed make the play after he gets over the blue line.
So a little more than 6.5 minutes to play, and the Red Wings are down by 3. Brasser in against Peter Mahavlich. Puck bouncing into the Minnesota zone. Larson went in deep, but it slid back out to the Detroit line, and Jim Korn has it there. Now Korn lost it, and he covered up himself. Ahead to Foligno. Here's Mike Foligno. Peter Mahavlich, he took the shot, and he fired it wide. Peter Mahavlich couldn't get loose. The puck bouncing around in behind the net. And Mahavlich went in and bowled over Brasser. Here now is Fiddler coming back. A long bouncing shot wide of the Detroit net. In behind his own goal, Larson. Reed Larson turned around by Maneri, played it to the opposite side, and now Korn. Peter Mahavlich. 3-man rush for the wings. Mahavlich over the line. He couldn't get through. Then over to the side by Meloche. That's Foligno, held it in. And it's taken away by Anderson. Brad Maxwell. Maxwell was stopped right there by Errol Thompson. Foligno back on the line to Korn. Here's Korn. Faked the shot, then he took it and it deflected to the corner again. North Stars cleared ahead to Anderson. Again, it was stopped by Korn, but it bounces out center ice, and Willie Huber tips it. And Foligno golfs it back into the crowd, and the play is stopped, and it's 3-0 Minnesota. We'll be back in a moment.
Little Caesar's Pizza, tastiest in town. A winner any way you slice it, all the way around.
The carry-outs are good and hot, great for nighttime snacks. Or sit down at Little Caesar's, just order and relax. If you want variety, there's a family in for you. It's a winner, come in and see Little Caesar's.
Look for our ad in the news and free press TV books for a free pizza. Montreal Canadiens playing at home tonight have taken a 3-1 lead over the Boston Bruins. Here it's 3-0 Minnesota with 5 minutes 25 seconds to go in the second period. Billy Hogebaum with Hicks on one side and Dennis Polonich on the other. That's John Hamel, who shot it back into the North Star zone, and Minnesota will bring it right back up. Intercepted by Hamel. John Hamel trying to cut through, but couldn't get by Sargent. And Zanussi had him pretty well tied up. Now Schmier, long pass. Hamel stops at center ice. Willie Huber playing it right back in. Off to the side of the Minnesota goal, Gary Sargent. Along the boards to Zanussi. Now Zanussi brings it ahead to Sargent. Gary Sargent firing it off the boards in behind the Detroit goal. Vachon dumped it into the corner for for Hogebaum. It came to the line. They battle along the boards for it. Loose, and Sharpley has it. Then Sharpley, a long shot. Vachon stops that, played it off to Hicks. Hicks ahead, but that will be broken up by Sargent, who shot it in with the North Stars way offside. This week, Peschke's Great American Small Boneless Hams are featured at all local Great Scott stores. Glenn Hicks, hard-working young forward.
He sure is. Somewhere along the line, he'll start getting a few breaks and scoring some goals. He has yet to score his first goal here in the National League, but he does work and is not the least bit afraid of anyone out there. He runs into people.
Tell you what, Sid, nothing beats winning. The North Stars a year ago, 2 years ago, were having 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 people at the most here. They got this building just jammed tonight, and they have earned it with some good, solid play. Nedemansky slides it along the ice, and Meloche in trouble with that, but it was a shot on goal. Anderson, his pass broken up center ice by Nedemansky. Starts Sobchuk back in. Sobchuk trying to work away, couldn't do it. They go in along the boards in the corner. Nedemansky bumped his man. Reed Larson couldn't hold it in, though, and now down the ice. This is Ken-Eric Anderson. Anderson moving out in front. Took the shot, and Vachon came out and knocked it away. Back on the blue line, Barrett. Barrett's pass in behind the goal, and Rogie stops that for Barry Long. Long left side pass, too far for LeBratton. And Barrett will go back after it. They waved off the icing. Barrett played it to the line. Long knocked it down there. Shot it off to the side of the North Stars goal. Now it's Willie Huber holding it in. Huber handing it to LeBratton at the crossbar. Drove it off the crossbar. You could hear it ring up here. And it's driven down the ice. Now Foligno, he failed to get by. Stopped by Hartsburg. Coming right back, Youngins shooting it into the Detroit zone. A little more than 3 minutes to go in the period. They take it into the corner and hold it there. Off to the left of the Detroit goal. We'll be back in just a moment.
Nuts.
What's the matter?
I just missed the score.
The score was 7-3.
How'd you know?
I called Sports Phone.
Sports Phone?
Yeah, here. I clipped out the ad.
For local, regional, and national sports news, updated at least 40 times a day, call Sports Phone, day or night. In the 313 area, dial 1-976-1313.
Hey, he's right. The latest sports. Call yourself and know the score right now.
And so Peter Mahovlich moves in against the rookie Eves, off to the left of the Detroit goal. Reed Larson, or rather Korn it was, cleared it along the boards. Foligno goes digging after it. He's bumped off the puck, and Larson covers up. Got it out to Korn. He's got Thompson on the left side. Jim Korn carries over the line, tried to set up Thompson. He did, and he shot wide. Foligno with an open net, and it's knocked away. And then Thompson is spilled. There'll be a penalty coming up as Darrell Thompson, going for the loose puck in front of the goal, was dumped to the ice by Gary Sargent.
And what a play Jim Korn made. He let on he was going to shoot the puck and made the perfect pass out in front. The Wings just can't buy one. Now Korn breaks out, and he shows great speed for a big fella. He pulls around, now he lets on, he's going to shoot the puck, and first thing you know, he makes a perfect pass across out here in the middle. Everything but in the net. A little piece of his glove, missed the net, comes right back out. The Wings have had 2 or 3 real good opportunities to score here in the last couple of minutes, and then he finally got pulled down out in front. Foligno caused the penalty.
Gary Sargent for holding at 17 minutes and 25 seconds. Well, we mentioned the crowds coming back into Minnesota. One of the reasons has to be the general manager of this club, Lou Nanne, who is given a good deal of credit for it. He'll be Sid's guest between second and third period. Puck bouncing around out in front of the goal, but cleared away. And the North Stars shoot it down the ice. 2 minutes, 20 seconds to go here in the second period. Long pass to Peter Mahovlich, now Foligno. Mike Foligno over the line, stopped right there. He took a bit of a swing at Schmier. Puck goes into the corner, it's jammed in along the boards. Now Mike Foligno and Schmier. Schmier jabbed him, and Foligno drops the glove, and Schmier just backed away from it.
They're both going to get penalties, I'm afraid, but Schmier actually took a little swing and hit him right in the face.
So the 2 of them will go off.
And this is part of the growing up process in the National League for Mike Foligno. He's a good, tough kid, and he's going to get knocked down. He does run into a lot of open switches, but I'm sure that he'll be back to keep playing because he likes it rough himself.
Well, they'll each get a couple for roughing at 17:57. Live from New York, basketball action as the Detroit Pistons take on the New York Knicks Tuesday, November 27th, 8 o'clock, right here on TV 50.
Well, here's a case where Foligno tries to cut back outside, and he really gets hit right at the blue line. Now, as he comes back into the corner to help Peter Mahovlich out of this little mess that he's in here trying to freeze the puck, Schmier takes a little poke at him with there's his stick, and then finally the glove comes off. Don't show that, but the glove comes off, and he didn't come off, but he hit Foligno right in the face with his glove.
Wings are 1 man short, and Minnesota 2. The play deep in the North Star zone. Puck stayed right there. Now that's Dale McCourt in after it. McCourt off to the circle. McCourt back on the line to Reed Larson. Larson hands it off the boards to McCourt again. Now Dale McCourt, he's got Larson open. Larson took the shot, and it's deflected by Mike Kolich way up into the crowd. Well, I mentioned Lou Nanne guesting with you between periods, Sid, and I know that our telecast goes up to the Sault Ste. Marie area by way of cable, and the folks in the Canadian Sioux have to be very proud of this young man and the job he's done here.
There's no doubt about that. Lou was raised and I guess played all his junior hockey up that way, but then come down and has been a resident here in this Minnesota area for a good many years. He's done a tremendous job here with this hockey club.
Now the face-off, the rim of the circle. In the North Star zone, Mahavlich. In against Polic. And again, Polic won the draw. Hartsburg played it over on the left side. McCourt never get to that. It came back out center ice, and he swings it now to Mahavlich. Mahavlich checked once, picks it up again. Played it now to Errol Thompson going in. Here's Thompson pulling up along the circle. Back to Larson. He's got Mahavlich open. He fired the shot and lost the save. It bounced loose, and Mahavlich shot it wide. Now Errol Thompson holding it in. He was checked. Goes after it a second time. Peter Mahavlich tried to get a stick on it. It came back toward Larson. Reed Larson had it. Bounced out in front, and Larson can't control it, or Thompson can't. And it slides back down the ice, and Mike Polic goes after it and just dumps it farther. 28 seconds left in the first of the Minnesota penalties. 58 seconds remaining in the period. Here's Larson over the line again. Back to Dale McCourt. He was checked. McCourt held it in. Danny LeBreton couldn't get to the pass. And McCourt comes back after it. Peter Mahavlich. Over the line. Three of them moving in. It's shot by Reed Larson. It's loose in front and nobody there. And the North Stars shoot it down. Penalty to Sargent is over, and now each team short a man. Wings have had their chances. Reed Larson, left side pass for LeBreton. Trying to work around Sargent, couldn't do it. And Barrett fires it down the ice. Ashon came way out of the goal to steer it away from Sharpley. Zanussi has it. 15 seconds to go in the period. Now Barrett plays it off to Sargent. Sargent hands it back to Barrett. 8 seconds in the period. And it'll be very Long at his own blue line. Willie Huber and Long, and this period will come to an end as the buzzer goes to end the second period. So here is the second period scoring summary brought to you by Magnavox and Fretter Appliance Stores. With Minnesota leading 2-0 on first period goals by Youngans and Maneri. A power play goal with Reed Larson off at the 4:15 mark for interference. It was the rookie Mike Eaves with McAdam and Sargent assisting at 5:57, and it was 3-0 Minnesota. Maxwell went off for interference, Huber for roughing, Sargent for holding, then Foligno and Schmier together for roughing. They'll have about 57. No, they're back out on the ice too. So the teams will be at full strength when the third period gets underway. 3-0 Minnesota leads. The end of the second period will return to the Met Center in Bloomington in just a moment.
This Bud's for everybody who puts in a hard day's work.
This Bud's for you, for all you do. The king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you, that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
Important announcement. The Michigan State Fairgrounds annual November Hungry Artist Art and Stained Glass sale will be this Sunday only in the Merchandise Mart building on the fairgrounds. This will be the only show before Christmas, and all items make ideal Christmas gifts. There will be over 150 artists represented, and nothing will be over $34. Most items will be under $15. The show opens Sunday morning promptly at 10 and closes at 6 p.m. That's Detroit's biggest annual show, the Hungry Artist Art and Stained Glass show, this Sunday only at the Michigan State Fairgrounds for one day free admission.
My guest is Lou Nanne, the general manager of the Minnesota North Stars. Lou, this must make your heart feel great to see crowds like this. You were a player here for 10 or 11 years. Must remind you back of the, say, 71, 72, 72, 73 season.
Well, that's right, Sid. As a matter of fact, we were talking about it before the game. Bobby Smith, as you know, is hurt, and Greg Smith. So we were down this afternoon to watch that fight with Ledoux, and we were talking about the crowd we were going to have tonight. I said, we were expecting to get around 14. A couple days ago, we had 9,500 sold. I said, well, we've had 2 sellouts in a row. I wouldn't doubt if we went over 14 tonight, and I'm sure there is. And I told Bobby, I said, you think it's nice now. If we keep on winning, it's just a regular occurrence. And if you get down to 14, you wonder what happened. There must be a snowstorm out there.
Well, Lou, you're the man that's responsible. You know, you took this job over, you actually just tail end of the 77, 78 that's season. Right. Built it up some last year, and here this year you got this team as one of the real strong teams in the league.
Well, Sid, we've got a lot of young talent and people that have got great capabilities, and as you well know, many times people don't work even though they have talent, but this club is working. Glenn Sonmore's really got them working, And if they work with the talent they got, even though we've had severe injuries since training camp, like this is only Fiddler's second game, Greg Smith hasn't played yet, neither is Carlson, and Bobby Smith is out, we've been able to replace them with guys that aren't quite as good, but when they work hard, they make up a lot. And as you know, hard work many times is going to win you games, and that's what these fellas have been doing.
Well, let's just talk about a few of your draft picks. You know, you've come up with some terrific draft picks. First of all, a year ago, you come up with Bobby Smith and a boy by the name of Payne. Now, were they in your plans, or did you feel that they would be gone before it got to your turn?
Well, Sid, that's the year that I took over the job there at the end of the season, and we were in last place, and when we ended up in last and stayed in last, I was happy because I had gone in scouting and knew that I had the first draft pick and had seen Bobby Smith, and a fellow like this only comes along every 4 or 5 years, and I felt in my own mind, and I didn't know if I was going to be right or not, that he was the best draft pick since Dennis Potvin, and he has certainly proved to be that. And Steve Payne, we were very fortunate to get him. For some reason, people bypassed him. There were 5 left wingers in the draft that year, so we were very, very fortunate that he was there, and he's got a great knack around the net, and his history had proven that every second year he scored a lot, and he could really score goals. And 6'2", 214 pounds is something, with that kind of speed, is something to have in your club. And we also picked Christoph and Giles, 2 other people that are going to be in our plans. Christoph starring with the U.S. Olympic team, and Giles, our #1 defenseman on a farm team. And this past year, we had traded a pick with Washington and got another first-round pick, so we had 2 of them, and we had Hartsburg rated right up there. We loved Foligno, too, I want to tell you.
Where did you draft, though, this year, in this past draft?
Well, we drafted 6th overall and 10th overall. We had 2 first rounds. We had traded, last season, I traded Mrook to Washington for a first-round pick, so we had 2 first rounds, and we had Hartsburg rated #1. We wanted a defenseman, and we were very, very fortunate. We never expected him to be there. And
Lou, I just wanted to interrupt and say one thing. Before we started the show tonight, I said that of all the players that we haven't seen all the clubs yet. I think young Hartsburg is the most outstanding first-year hockey player in the National League, although he did play last year. So you come up with a dandy.
Well, Sid, we've heard that from other people, and we know a couple other clubs that had him rated way up there. And anytime you can get a young defenseman to control the game at that age, Harry Howell made a super statement here earlier in the year. He was watching him. He says, you know, he is so poised that he plays like a 30-year-old already. And when we were in your building in Detroit earlier this season, there was one scout there, a fellow that I value his opinion very much, from another club, and he says, that kid is so good, if he makes a mistake, you wonder what he did wrong. And we feel the same way about him. We were very happy with him.
And then on your second pick, you took a boy by the name of McCarthy.
Well, again, Sid, we wanted a big winger, and Foligno was gone, and we really loved Foligno, too. And Tom McCarthy was there, and he's an underage. He's got another year of junior left, but he's 6'2", 205 with great natural scoring talents, and as you might see out there, he doesn't give that puck away, and that is so smart to have that kind of intelligence at 19 years old. So we're very, very fortunate to have 2 guys like that to go along with Smith and Payne from last season.
All right, now let's get to the actual division. You're in a division with Boston, a real tough hockey club, Buffalo, and you're sitting right in the midst. And I think overall of the 21 teams in the league, you're sitting about 6th or 7th with points, or possibly even higher than that. Did you feel at the start of the season, Lou, that your club was going to be that strong a contender?
Well, Sid, we felt we lay out our objectives every year, and we laid out a 5-year plan. And last season, as you know, we ended up 11th overall, and we felt going in that our objective this year was 8th overall. We didn't know if our young guys could come along that quickly, but we knew we had the talent to be 8th anyway, and maybe better. And so our objective was a home ice position in the playoffs, and that's the last playoff position that you can get home ice. And we set that plus 86 points as a goal, and we feel that we are capable of reaching that, provided we don't keep sustaining these injuries that we've had so far. I certainly feel if we wouldn't have lost Bobby Smith for this 2 months, that we would have made that for sure.
All right, now let's just talk about your goaltending. You made a move, I guess it was in the acquisition or the joining of Cleveland that you got Malash, and then you turned around and got Gary
Edwards came with him.
Oh, he came from Cleveland too. Do you feel your goaltending is adequate?
We do, although if there was any weak spot in our play, their inconsistency early on, it was our goaltending, which we think is a major strong point of our club. But maybe it's the scheduling. You know, early in the year we don't fight football, and we play Wednesday, Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, and our goaltenders, notably Milosh, really liked playing a lot, and they felt that they weren't sharp because of that. We brought Gump in this week, Gump Worsley, who's our goaltender coach and scouts for us in Quebec, and he's helped them considerably, and we were very fortunate that Gilly's coming back to form, and we think Gary will too, although Gary had an outstanding training camp. Our goaltending should be strong enough. We added Louis Lavasseur for our minor league club to give us some depth at that position, but we were very, very helped in the merger with Cleveland when we picked up the 2 goaltenders. Greg Smith on defense, who hasn't played yet this year but is very good, and Fiddler, Maneri, and McAdam up front.
Lou, I know that you were originally from Sault Ste. Marie.
Right.
Now, we go up to the Sioux on cable. You must have family or relatives up there you'd like to say hello to?
I certainly would, although, Sid, I have to tell you, my brother and his family, my sister and his family, or her family, and my mom is here tonight. And although I do have a lot of Gricos and nannies up in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, and as you know, we play Detroit up there 2 years two games every year, and we plan on going back again because Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario is my home.
All right, just one more question before you get away. The 4 new teams coming in the league, Hartford and Quebec, Winnipeg and Edmonton. I don't know whether you've played them or not. Just what is your version of how well they'll play in the National League?
Going into the season, we felt that Quebec had the most talent. We thought that Hartford could wane after Christmas because they were older, although they're more experienced and check well. We liked Edmonton's line of Gretzky, McDonald, and Callaghan, and thought that they would be the second best. And Winnipeg was really hurt by that expansion draft, and really they are working hard and really doing it on hard work because they lost their key players to the teams in the National Hockey League coming into the league.
Lou, I want to say thanks for joining me.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Best of luck to the
Sid, I got to tell you this. Outside of Minnesota, Detroit's always been my favorite. I always wanted to play for the Red Wings when I was growing up, and I'm very happy to have been in Minnesota, but that's my second favorite club, so good luck to them.
Thanks ever so much. Now let's go back to Bruce Martin.
We thank you, Sid, and we thank you, Lou, for being our guest. Magnavox, manufacturers of the finest electronics and cabinet styling, takes pride in presenting you with a certificate for a 12-inch black and white Magnavox television. After 2 periods of play, the score of the Minnesota North Stars 3, the Detroit Red Wings nothing, and we'll be back to the Met Center in just a moment.
An energy message from Amoco.
When you read about the American dollar dropping in value, this is one of the places where it happens. These traders know there are many reasons why the dollar drops. One of them is that too many dollars go overseas for foreign oil. Amoco wants to do its part to help your dollar by producing more American oil. The money spent on American oil stays at home, helping to strengthen your dollar. America runs better on American oil.
What's the big news about our 1980 Jeep CJ? MFG, more fun per gallon.
With a new 4-cylinder engine and drivetrain, the 1980 Jeep CJ delivers 21 EPA estimated MPG, plus all the gutsy performance CJs are famous for.
With the Jeep CJ, you get fuel economy you can be proud of. The best of any 4-wheel drive vehicle built in America.
See all the new 1980s at your Metro Detroit AMC Jeep dealer.
Quickly!
Fish.
Here, water.
The fish. I'd rather done this.
Burners?
No matter what else you got, don't get caught with your burners down.
When thirst threatens to get the best of you, nothing can replace Burners' mysteriously refreshing taste.
Don't get caught with your burners down, old boy.
Back in our telecast location here at the Met Center, Bloomington, Minnesota, the Red Wings trail the Minnesota North Stars by a score of 3-0 after 2 periods of play. A period, Sid, in which the Red Wings had only 1 shot on goal, I'm going to say around the 10-11 minute mark, but they ended up with 7 on the period, and most of them came in the last 3-4 minutes.
Well, Minnesota put terrific pressure on early in the period. In fact, we're outplaying the Wings, but in the last 7 or 8 minutes, the Wings did have 2 or 3 excellent opportunities to score goals. If they play like that, I would have to say, Bruce, of all the games we've played, this game so far is going to go down as probably one of the roughest that the Wings have been involved in. It seems that every time that a player goes near the puck, he's either going to get knocked down or get high-sticked or some way get grabbed or wrestled or something. And I enjoy this kind of a hockey game. I think this is good for our team, the fact that they sometimes try to get by without getting into too many rough games. And a game like this makes some of these younger fellows in particular start to think, boy, this National League is what it's cracked up to be, that if you go to get the puck, you're going to get hit. And I think this makes for good hockey.
Well, you've mentioned from time to time that Mike Foligno is a big, strong kid, and he is, I think, still learning that you can't go with the head down and cross the blue line because you're liable to be flat on the ice, and he has been on more occasions than one. But he has begun to come back a little bit, and he did late in the second period.
Well, Mike's biggest problem, Bruce, has been the fact that all his dekes, as he comes up to the blue line, he feints outside and 9 times out of 10 swings inside. And you don't do that in the National League. You don't do it 2 or 3 times in a row, because if you do, you're going to get knocked down. I notice now that he's starting to feint the other way quite often and going outside, and he can shoot a puck. He's going to score goals, and I really think that the rougher it gets, the rougher he can get. So he's going to be a very valuable member of the Red Wings before he ever, you know, grows up, really.
And it was interesting to see, and I'm sure the fans here in Minnesota enjoyed it in that second period, particularly on 2 or 3 occasions. Bobby Crom paired the 2 Minnesota kids together back along the defense. Reed Larson, who I guess now must be stipulated as a defenseman, and the rookie Jim Korn, but they were playing side by side 2 or 3 shifts late in that second period. So the Red Wings will have their work cut out for them, down by 3 with just 20 minutes of hockey to be played, and it'll be an interesting 20 minutes. The score here at the Met Center, Bloomington, Minnesota, the North Stars 3, the Red Wings nothing, and we'll be back with the third period face-off in just a moment.
Polyoleum believes your new car shouldn't have to die before its time because of rust and corrosion. That's why your Polyoleum dealer is now offering a lifetime rust-proofing limited warranty against internal rust-through for as long as you keep your new car. No limit on years, no limit on mileage. Your warranty even includes a helpful yearly inspection by a Polyoleum dealer. Give your new car a chance, the chance of a lifetime. The Polyguard rust-proofing system, better than all the rust. Check the yellow pages for the Polyoleum dealer nearest you.
Mr. Green?
Yeah.
You need any help?
Mm-mm.
Want my Coke?
No.
Really, you can have it.
Okay. Thanks.
That's the way it should be. I like to see.
See you around.
The whole world smiling with me. Coca-Cola as life. Have a Coke and a...
Wow, thanks, Mean Joe.
Minnesota North Stars just now coming back out onto the ice. Prior to the start of the third period, the Red Wings yet to make their appearance. Referee Ron Hogarth calling a total of 11 penalties, 6 Detroit, 5 Minnesota. In the second period, the North Stars with 13 shots fired in Rogie Vachon's direction and 7 returned by the Red Wings to Mr. Meloche. The only goal scored in the second period, that by Mike Eaves. The total shots on the goal then would be 20 Minnesota and 12 Red Wings. 3-0, North Stars lead the hockey game. The Red Wings return home tomorrow morning, and they will be awaiting the appearance of the Montreal Canadiens at Olympia in Detroit next Tuesday night. That game will be on WJR Radio and across our radio network at 7:25. Then the Boston Bruins will be in on Saturday, and then Sunday the Wings right back on the road to Philadelphia, and that'll be a 7 o'clock telecast right here on TV 50.
There's something that the North Stars do that not too many clubs do before a period start. They all go back and huddle around their goaltender, kind of as if they had an awful lot of college spirit to go with them.
Glenn Sonmore is the coach of the North Stars. He's been around hockey for a long time.
Former college coach right here, too, with the University of Minnesota. He's been in this area for many, many years and was a former, not National League, American League hockey player, and he lost his eye playing hockey years ago, I think, in Cleveland.
Okay, the teams are at full strength as this period, the third, gets underway. Dale McCourt won the draw, then Eaves knocked it away. Here's Al McAdam moving in, and his shot just went wide. Polonich took it off the boards and clears it down the ice. They waved off an icing. Back after it, Gary Sargent. Sargent clearing it into the corner. Steve Payne was checked by Hamel, who went in deep. John Hamel still controlling the puck, goes into the corner after it. Hamel trying to hand it off to Paul Woods. He did. Woods into the circle with it. Woods bringing it back to the blue line. Fired the shot, and it deflected just wide in the open corner. Now it's cleared by Eaves down the ice. That's Steve Payne, 26, will be the first man in to get it, so Vachon moved out and tipped it away from him. Jim Korn, ahead now to Polonich, knocked away, and Hamel takes it. John Hamel's pass picked off by Schmier. He played it right back at the Detroit goal again. So Korn goes in after it once more. Leaves it for Dale McCourt. McCourt in between Polonich and Woods. Now here's McCourt carrying over the line. Puck rolls into the corner, and McCourt pulled up from the check, and Maxwell knocked it away. Coming out with it is Anderson. Anderson's pass to Maxwell. And that's broken up by Korn, rather by Reed Larson. Dale McCourt takes it. And it's offside going into the North Star zone. So the play will come back to the center ice zone.
Now this is a new line out here, a totally new line. Nedomansky moving over into center ice with Hicks and LeBratton.
Hicks on the right side now. Now the puck slides back into the Detroit zone. Vachon steers it off for Barry Long. They've played a minute and a half of the third period. 3-0 Minnesota. Pass off the skate of LeBratton. He turned around, wheeled it into the North Star's end. Maxwell will chase it into the corner. Now Maxwell coming out again with it. Bringing it out to center ice. Nedomansky gave him a bump along the boards. And it's Maxwell who finally does backhand it in. In behind his own goal, Reed Larson. Larson's pass too far for LeBratton. Larson again with it. Reed Larson turning it in behind his own goal. Now Larson's pass tipped out center ice. On the move is LeBratton. Over the line, took the shot, and Meloche stopped that along the chest. Now Maxwell. Out on the left side, Polis. He bounced it into the Detroit end, coming back after it very Long. Wings move out again. Long played it over on the right side. Larson goes digging after it. Reed Larson was checked. Errol Thompson picks it up. Thompson sent it back to Larson. He golfs it into the North Star zone. Now it'll be played by McCarthy off to Gary Sargent. Sargent's pass. At center ice, that was Korn. Mahavlich just golfed it to the Minnesota line. Play very loose in the center ice zone. McCarthy has it. McCarthy knocked down by Foligno. That's Zanussi sliding it right onto the stick of Korn. And Mahavlich was dumped by Zanussi. Here's Willie Huber. Huber took the shot. Meloche blocked that. Now Zanussi comes out again. He was dumped to the ice by Korn. Sargent follows up. They're bumping into one another. Foligno took it away. Mike Foligno to Mahavlich over the line. Peter Mahavlich has Thompson out in front, and Thompson couldn't get loose. Mahavlich kept it, put it right in the score. It bounced off 2 or 3 players and beat Meloche, and it is 3-1.
I don't know if Mahavlich will get this goal or possibly Huber. Huber was out in front of the net. It went in between a couple players. Meloche never did see it. This puts the Wings back in. Now if they ever score the next goal, they can make a fight out of this.
We'll have to await the scoring on the play. It bounced off, I think, a couple of players.
Yeah.
One of them had to be a Minnesota player.
Right, Mahavlich was the one that shot the puck, so if I think he gets it.
Unassisted goal. Here's Dennis Polonich on the move. Charging into the North Star zone. He was checked right there. Paul Woods held it in, then it came back out center ice. Woods stick handing away at center ice, dropping it back for John Hamel. Hamel played it to the North Star's line. Maxwell shooting it back out center ice. And it came back in offside. A pause in the action. 3-1 Minnesota. Will be back in a moment.
You're about to see an incredible demonstration of the new American Eagle. Watch as we blow not just one, but both front tires of the Eagle at 55 miles per hour on a curve. Watch as Eagle's automatic four-wheel drive directs power for immediate traction. Introducing the only family compact with automatic four-wheel drive.
It looks like Errol Thompson should have maybe received an assist here. He knocks the puck back to Mahavlich. Mahavlich takes a little weak backhander right there, and it goes all the way through, right into the net. No, it wasn't a move. It probably went off a Minnesota player.
Reed Larson from center ice drilled that shot. Meloche knocks it away. Now the North Stars, Barrett. Barrett stopped at center ice on the intercepted pass by Larson, who swings it right back in. In behind his own goal now is Schmier, Paul Schmier. Now that's Youngins, who dropped it back to Barrett. North Stars, the wings checking well. They've still got Hicks out on the right side of the line with LeBratton and Netamansky. North Stars carry in. A centering pass, but coming back, LeBratton took it away. Danny LeBratton hands it off to Barry Long. He just dumped it off the boards to center ice. LeBratton goes digging after it. Barrett stopped him. At center ice, it'll be Long again. Now Barry Long's pass, gloved ahead, and that'll be whistled down. They'll bring it right back to the North Stars blue line.
And if the Wings are to get back in this game, they're going to have to force the issue. Just chase in there and really make them make mistakes. Mahavlich has gone over to the scoring bench. I think he is trying to get an assist for Thompson or someone, or possibly change the goal. Possibly Huber did. I know Huber was up.
Foligno was up there too. Now here's a long pass on the left side. That's Payne carrying in, but Huber neatly tipped it away from him. A quick pass up to Mahavlich, coming up with him, Thompson. Mahavlich took the shot, and Meloche came out and made a great save. What a pretty play both ways, but a great save by Gilles Meloche.
And there's the save of the game. Mahavlich had Errol Thompson as a decoy all the way up, and he elected to shoot, which I think he should have done anyway. He really fired it.
And this is Red Wing Hockey coming to you on WKBD TV 50 in Detroit. Big chance for the Wings. They trail by 2 with a lot of time left, just under 15 minutes. Now Payne, number 26, shoved around a bit by Foligno. Thompson drove it into the corner. Mahavlich goes in with Maxwell. Foligno played it beyond Mahavlich. It's driven along the boards on the right side to McAdam. Coming out with Eves. That's Eves who took it over the line. He's going in. Hit the shot, and Vachon came out and stopped him. And now Rogie Vachon came up with a big move.
Here's the case, the 2-on-1 break. Mahavlich and Thompson over on the left side, and Peter elects to shoot, and he got real good wood on it, but he shot it right into his glove. Now watch the replay coming back the other way. Rogie Vachon is called on to make a big save on Eves, a play that comes up along the boards and comes out through the middle. Right through there, and now away he goes. He's in scot-free, and Rogie robs him.
Play still in the North Stars zone. Woods takes it along the boards. Handed it off to Larson. That's Paul Woods with it now. Woods flipped it in the air. It's grabbed off by Meloche. Cleared off to Payne. He was checked immediately, and the puck bounced back into the Detroit end. Barry Long back after it. A good quick pass ahead to Dennis Polonich. Turned around. Polonich still in command, though. Starts out. Over on the right side, Reed Larson. He was stopped at the line. Then Wings left it there. Polonich overskated it. Digging in now is Payne. Payne took the shot. Got a piece of it, and it rolled off to the side. And the North Stars came close. Now Maxwell in behind his own goal. Long pass up to Zanussi. Oh, listen to this crowd. Zanussi heading back into the Detroit zone. Woods gave him a bump, and the puck slides off the right side. Polonich dumped it out center ice. Schmier shooting it right back in. Vachon stopping it. Along the boards on the right side, Polonich will take it. Polonich dumped it out center ice. Schmier ran into his own man, but he covers up. Paul Schmier handing it off to Gary Sargent. Now Sargent slid it along the ice off to the side of the Detroit goal. Puck knocked away. They're sharply out in front, and McCarthy shot it wide. Puck fired down the ice by the Wings. Danny LeBratton. There will be an icing call as Sargent is back after it. 3-1 Minnesota. We're back in just a moment.
This Bud's for every man who works with fire and steel.
This Bud's for you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do, this Bud's for you.
Back to the action here at the Met Center in Bloomington. Red Wings play the puck to the North Stars line. Willie Huber drives it in. In behind the Minnesota goal, Schmier. He played it along the boards on the right side. Anderson clearing it ahead, and this is Mike Kolich moving on. Kolich drove that shot, hit the goal, rolled it off the post to the left of Vachon. Now Danny LeBratton's pass handled by Sobchuk. Dennis Sobchuk right out in front of his own goal. Scooped it ahead for Nedemansky. He couldn't get to it, and Sargent will bring it back. Left side pass to Tom Youngins. Youngins sticks a shot wide. Cleared out in front. That's Sobchuk turning with it. He's tripped. There'll be a penalty coming up to Minnesota. And now the Red Wings, trailing by a goal with 12 minutes to go, are going to have the extra man. We'll be back with their power play after this.
The great search for a bigger, better hot dog is over because Peschke has it. Peschke's Great American Hot Dog bursts with flavor. Flavor that actually won an independent taste test by almost 2 to 1. In regular or a new super size that really fills up the bun. So go to your supermarket and say, I won't take anything less than the Great American Hot Dog.
Great American. Sobchuk trying to break out of his own zone with the puck, and Polish just got the stick and pulled him right off his feet. And the goaltender come out and made a play on the puck, causing the face-off deep in Minnesota's zone with the Wings now with a man advantage. A lot of time. If they could ever pick one up here, we'll wind up with a terrific last 12 minutes or so.
7 minutes, 56 seconds, the time of the hooking call to Mike Polish. Shot by Willie Huber, broke his stick. There's Dale McCourt, and a loose puck, and LeBratton scores, and it's 3-2.
And that didn't take too long, and it's funny, a broken stick on a shot, then over to McCourt, and he shot it. It was actually saved. The big thing on this is Mahavlich wins the face-off, and it comes back, and Huber's shot breaks the stick right in half. Dale McCourt comes in and takes a shot. The goaltender makes this save, and it comes right back out to LeBratton, and he puts it in the empty net. And we've got a brand new hockey game now.
So Danny LeBratton gets his 6th goal of the season on the power play. Came just 6 seconds after the penalty was called. Now the play goes back into the Minnesota end. It's 3-2. Detroit trails by a goal. But the play is deep in the North, or rather the Red Wing zone. Nedemansky and Sobchuk. Sobchuk got it out center ice. LeBratton picks it up. Danny LeBratton moved into the Minnesota end. Tried to get the pass to Nedemansky, but it was broken up. Dumped over on the left side now. That's Steve Payne driving it into the corner. Al McAdam goes in after it. Hamel gave him a bump. The two of them go down. Here's Nedemansky now. He's got LeBratton on the left side, and Nedemansky was checked at the line, and the play went in offside. Now Willie Huber went in after Schmier. Schmier had given Nedemansky a whack, and Huber went after him. And so Willie Huber twice has come to the rescue of his players, and he got that left hand free on Payne. That's Steve Payne, number 26, that's tangling now with Huber. And the two linesmen get in between them, and we'll have penalties coming up.
Willie Huber's acting as the policeman. I don't know if Schmier and Nedemansky were going to go at it or not, but Willie Huber come to his aid anyway, and so Payne and Huber are the ones that are going to get the penalties.
Boys and girls, you can get an official Red Wings puck if you're one of the first 5,000 kids to come to the game on Saturday, December 8th, when the Wings meet the Vancouver Canucks at 7:30 p.m. Puck night sponsored by Tubby's Submarine Shots. Kids 14 and under. 8 minutes, 46 seconds, the time of the penalty to Huber and Payne. Both were roughing, I guess, Sid.
I think so. They were only getting 2 minutes.
I did not get the second assist on LeBratton's goal, did you?
No, I didn't.
McCourt would have to get one of them. He fired in his rebound. Now here's McAdam. McAdam back along his line, played it out center ice, going after it. Errol Thompson, he just failed to get loose. They still battle at center ice for it. Thompson and Eves. It came back to Barry Long in the Detroit zone. Each team short a man. Peter Mahavlich turning right out in front of Vachon. Hands it off now to Jean Hamel. Now that's Barry Long. Long looking for Mahavlich. Played it off his stick, but the play went in offside. Baines Huber for roughing at 8:46.
The Wings have this Minnesota club hanging a little bit right now. If they can just keep putting the pressure on them. Minnesota had that 3-goal lead, and they probably felt they could sit on it. First thing you know, the Wings got a lucky goal when Mahavlich scored, but they certainly deserved the next one, the power play goal. They had 3 whacks at it, and finally LeBratton put it in the empty net, put them right into this hockey game.
I am going to give an assist to Huber on that other goal, because he fired a shot when he broke his stick. It came back to McCourt. He let the next shot go, and then LeBratton knocked in the rebound.
Yes, I would think so.
So it would be LeBratton from McCourt and Huber at 8:02. Each team short a man for 1:25 seconds. Puck driven back into the Detroit zone. That's Reed Larson going after it, sharply checking him. Larson dumping it off for Long. Now over on the left side, this is Thompson moving out with Mahavlich. 2 of them over the line, and again it went in offside, and Zanussi made a run at Thompson and fell down. 1:10 remaining in the penalties to Huber and Payne. Each team now with 7 penalties, all minors. Each team with 1 power play goal. And the Red Wings have had 7 shots here in this 3rd period. The North Stars 3. Peter Mahavlich and Errol Thompson. Hamel and Larson. Now that's Maxwell. He and Hartsburg paired on the North Star defense. Up front, Zanussi and Sharpley. Larson dumped Sharpley. Puck went into the Detroit zone offside. "57 seconds remaining in the penalties to Huber and Payne. Each team short a man. 10 minutes, 11 seconds to go in the hockey game. It is 3-2. Minnesota leads. They led 3-0 coming into the 3rd period. Now Larson. Reed Larson heading out again. Here's Larson. Dropping the pass for Errol Thompson. Thompson. He fired it in behind the Minnesota goal, but Sharpley will play it out. Then Sharpley moving back now for Minnesota. Here's Sharpley. Into the Detroit zone. He drops it off for Zanussi. Puck bouncing around. Thompson turns a 3-on-1 for Detroit. Thompson over the line. Mahavlich. Mahavlich tried to center it back, and he shot it right into Zanussi, who'd come back or make it Maxwell. What an opportunity. The Wings missed right there. It was Maxwell that made the defensive play.
I think Peter, on this case, just holds the puck a little too long. He takes the pass right there from Thompson. He's going in. He's on an angle, and Maxwell's down on his hands and knees, but Pete waited too long to make the dump pass. He had, I think it was Hamel or Larson that was following the play up. He'd have been better off to put it back out into the opener and let the back forward or back Red Wing handle the puck. A golden opportunity right there to tie the score.
Now Dale McCord and Paul Woods come out. Korn and Barry Long. 25 seconds remaining in the penalties. Each team short a man. McCord in against Mike Polich. Polich won the faceoff. He's been good at that. Barrett played it along the boards, and Polich wraps it down the ice. Big Jim Korn heads after it. Anderson chasing him. Pass coming up to Paul Woods. That puck bouncing. Woods trying to pull away from Polich. Over the line. That puck slid in there. Now Woods is grabbed. Referee with Barrett, having lost his stick, just let it go. Peter Mahavlich standing up on the bench yelling. Paul Woods overskated it. Puck came out again. That's Ken Anderson dropping it back on his own blue line to Barrett. Now from Barrett, clearing it into the Detroit zone. Hicks goes after it. Glenn Hicks, number 23. He and Youngins bump each other. Play stays still deep in the Detroit zone. They hold the puck to the boards in the corner, and we'll be back after we pause for this.
First, Little Caesars introduced Pizza Pizza. 2 medium pizzas for the price of 1. And you ate it up. Now, Pizza Pizza goes all the way. Small, medium, and large. For any size appetite, any size wallet.
Mushrooms, mushrooms.
Because you can feed a lot of hungry mouths.
Pepperoni, pepperoni.
Without spending a lot of money.
Pizza, pizza. Double cheese, double cheese, double cheese, double cheese.
Little Caesars Pizza Pizza. 3 good ways for pizza that's twice as good.
Caesar!
got a good one going here. 3-2, Minnesota leads. Wings have had pressure on John Amell. In the corner to Huber. He fanned on the pass. Steve Payne took it away. Came back to the line. A shot, and Vachon, a big save. Now Danny LeBratton handing it off to Huber. Huber's pass picked up by Sobchuk. Dennis Sobchuk from center ice. Meloche steers it into the corner. Nedemansky and McAdam going after it. It comes now to Maxwell. Maxwell clearing it on the left side. Coming out with it is Eaves. Mike Eaves, the rookie, playing his first game into the Detroit zone. A weak shot. Vachon steers it away. Back on the line, Hartsburg. Hartsburg's pass broken up by Hamel. But Hartsburg took another shot, and Vachon has stopped that. And then 3 of them are in the net with Vachon underneath. But he looks to be all right.
Oh, he's going to be all right. Vachon didn't see that play at all. He was down in his crouch, practically on his hands and knees, and the puck come right through, and he was the most startled player. A little dump shot right here now from the blue line, comes through a screen, right through, and Vachon, it hit Vachon without him knowing, and then Hamel, trying to take the player out, run right back into the goaltender, knocked him back in the net, but the whistle had gone.
8 minutes, 7 seconds to go in the third period. Here's a chance for Sargent. And Vachon knocked that away. A centering pass went wide. They brought it off to the side, and Vachon stopped it again. Sargent's shot deflected into the corner. Young went in after it. He's knocked to the ice. Puck still loose. Mike Foligno has it. Now Foligno starts out. Over on the left wing, Errol Thompson. Thompson holding it there. Dropped it back for Long. Barry Long's pass broken up though, and here's Zanussi coming back in. Vachon handled that, steering it off to the side. Reed Larson. A long left wing pass. Thompson will pick it up. Thompson left it for Mahavlich. Mahavlich took a bump from Sargent. Zanussi out in front of his own goal. Now coming out with it, Sargent, bringing it out to center ice. Sargent along the boards, off to the side of the Detroit goal. Vachon clears it on the left wing. Glenn Sharpley and Mahavlich bump. Long clears it ahead now to Thompson, and now Foligno. Foligno backhands it in to the Minnesota end, and Brad Maxwell goes back after it. We have 7 minutes to play in the hockey game. Checking at center ice, Paul Woods. He knocked it away. Hamel hands it off to Huber. Now to Dennis Polonich. He overskated it, goes back after it. Polonich to Jean Hamel. Hamel's pass to Paul Woods. Woods dumping it deep into the North Stars end. In behind his own goal, coming out with it. Now Maxwell. 4-man rush for the North Stars. Long pass on the right side. That's shot by Anderson, blocked by Hamel. Stuck out in front, coming out with it, Huber. Now that's Dale McCord on the right side, Paul Woods. Woods moves in. Woods looking, played it to the left side. Dennis Polonich took a kick at it. It's knocked away, though, and coming out, Maxwell. Maxwell of Minnesota into the Detroit zone. Slowed up by Hamel, who lost his stick. Play in behind the Detroit net. Willie Huber tried to hold it, couldn't do it, but Woods has it. Now Woods ahead too far for Dale McCord. It bounced over his stick down the ice. They wave off an icing. Teams changing on the move. We have now 6 minutes to play. 3-2, Minnesota leads. North Stars head out again. Barrett. Barrett's pass broken up by Reed Larson, and Dale McCourt turns with it. Now McCourt on the left side. That's Glenn Hicks trying to charge in. He's stumped to the ice. Now Dale McCourt with a shot by LeBratton. Here's Hicks sliding right to the goal mouth. And Meloche grabs that and holds on. And first, Danny LeBratton and then Hicks.
Talk about action. There is action for you. The Wings did everything but put the puck in the net. Hicks makes a terrific play across as he comes around the outside of the... His skates were knocked from under him. It comes across. He comes right back over the front of the net to him again, and he tried to put it back in, and he couldn't.
Nedemansky between LeBratton and Hicks. 5:42 to play, third period. They whistle it down as 2 or 3 players had moved into the circle too quickly. 3-2, Minnesota leads. They led 3-0 coming into this third period. Wings have fought back. Into the corner, Gary Sargent. Sargent being checked by Nedemansky. Puck loose in behind the goal. Cleared over on the opposite side. The North Stars roll it out to center ice. Barry Long just golfed it right back in. They're stepping into one another. In behind the goal, Paul Schmier. Now Schmier ahead to McAdams. Oh, he starts his man out. North Star zone. McAdam and LeBratton. It came loose to Nedemansky. He didn't get it out. Sargent held it in. Nedemansky knocked it away from him. Wings failed to work it out. It's bouncing around. Bounced out to center ice. It was gloved ahead by Larson. The play back at the blue line. We'll be back in just a moment.
Automatic four-wheel drive takes the American Eagle where ordinary automobiles fear to tread. Watch the American Eagle's automatic four-wheel drive win a traction tug-of-war against front-wheel drive. Watch again as the American Eagle rescues an expensive import stuck in a mudslide. American Motors introduces the extraordinary new family compact that gets you where you want to go, the American Eagle.
We'll have the face-off inside the Detroit blue line. We have exactly 5 minutes to play. That's Peter Mahavlich. He'll go in against Glenn Sharpley. Mahavlich with Foligno and Thompson. Hartsburg sent it back in offside. Now it'll come out over the blue line for the face-off. Zanussi was knocked down inside the blue line when the puck came back in. So the Wings gained a few yards. Bobby Crom looking on. He's seen his team come fighting back, and he's made some line changes here. Now the puck knocked down by Mike Foligno. He couldn't get loose. Sharpley has it. Glenn Sharpley driving it down the ice. In behind his own goal, John Hamel. Hamel is passed to Peter Mahavlich. On the left side, Errol Thompson. Foligno coming up the right. Foligno over the line, trying to go through, and he almost stepped on the puck. Now it's cleared ahead to Sharpley. Then Sharpley's pass. Came to the line. Peter Mahavlich slowed up Zanussi. Here now is McCarthy. McCarthy and Sharpley, and that's stopped. Willie Huber took it away. Now back to Errol Thompson. He was stopped by McCarthy. Puck bouncing around. Now that's McCarthy. McCarthy putting it right through the goal now. Errol Thompson takes it off the boards. Now Thompson, 4 minutes to go. Errol Thompson cleared it ahead to Foligno, but he was dumped to the ice. And here they come, 2-on-1. Over the line, McCarthy sharply cutting in, and he carried it all the way to the side of the net. Now look out, there's Sharpley again. He's hooked. Play goes back in the net. Play to the corner by Willie Huber. Now Huber ahead to Dale McCord. McCord all by himself took the shot wide. Off to the side of the net. Hartsburg in behind his own goal. Craig Hartsburg. Pass broken up by Billy Hogabaum. Hogabaum slid it in behind the net. Woods went digging in after it, and he overskated it, left it there. And the North Stars, Hartsburg cleared it into the crowd. No, it didn't. It hit the glass and went down the ice. There'll be an icing call, just what the Wings want. 3 minutes, 16 seconds to go in the third period. Burt Lancaster plots to undermine the president and overthrow the United States. 7 days in May. That's Bill Kennedy at the movies, and that's tomorrow at 1 o'clock on TV 50.
3 minutes and 16 seconds, and what about talk about action here in this third period? You got to give the Wings so much credit the way they've come storming back. This has been a terrific hockey game all night long, and this crowd has just gone wild.
Face off in the circle to the right of the Minnesota goal. 3-2, North Stars lead. 3 minutes, 16 seconds to play. Third period. McCourt tried to set it up for Paul Woods, but it was tipped all the way down the ice. They waved off the icing. Very long, I think, was looking for the icing call. Didn't get it. Played it now. Reed Larson lost it. It's kept in. Off the side of the net. Larson goes back after it. Cleared it to Paul Woods. He dumped it to the line, and that was gloved from one Minnesota player to another. So the face-off will be at center ice. There's a rookie linesman, Mark Pear, who's having quite a night. Chicago Blackhawks lead Toronto Maple Leafs 2-1. I have no idea if any of these are finals now. They got to be pretty close to it. In fact, they'd have to be there.
The board shows the Canadians 3, the Bruins 1 in the second period, according to the big board on the far side.
Face off just over the Detroit blue line. North Stars won the draw. It's dumped into the corner, deep in the Red Wing zone. Played back with the net. That's McAdam, tied up by Reed Larson. That puck is still loose, though. Steve Payne takes it. Now Payne handed it off, and it's taken away. Paul Woods, he's got Polonich with him. The two of them move. Here's Woods into the North Star zone. Trying to work away from Hartsburg. In behind the goal. He kicks working. Reed Larson couldn't hold it in, and it's right back on the ice. Detroit zone. McAdams' pass broken up by McCourt. Now it's kept in. There's Hartsburg with a shot. That was blocked. Willie Huber ran into Larson, still controls it. 2 minutes, 15 seconds to go. Maxwell at his own blue line. 3-2, Minnesota. Puck dumped out center ice. Huber has it, lost it. Here's Zanussi. Zanussi trying to work away from Hamel. Vachon starts Huber out. Now that's Sobchuk. A long pass, too far for LeBratton. He's offside. It'll come all the way back inside the Detroit blue line. We're just under 2 minutes to play.
The clock is the big thing now with 1 minute and 54 seconds, and the Wings have given it a real effort. They're coming back out now with LeBratton, Mahavlich. Looks like big Ned Nedemansky. They're probably going to go with 4 forwards, 1 defenseman. Hartford 4, Quebec 4. That's a final. Hartford at one time were ahead 4-1, I believe.
So we'll have the face-off just inside the Detroit blue line. Peter Mahavlich, Foligno, Nedemansky, LeBratton, and Larson. Puck at center ice, sharply handed it back. It's driven into the Detroit zone. Now Nedemansky in behind his own goal. Out on the left side to LeBratton. Here's Danny LeBratton bringing it out to center ice. Charging over the line, trying to go through. Peter Mahavlich picks it up. I score! Foligno! And he ties the hockey game at 3-3. And they deserve it.
And give all the credit there to Danny LeBratton. He just comes storming right up. Tried to cut through the middle of the defense. He was knocked off the puck, but Peter Mahavlich saw the loose puck, picked it up and threw it to Foligno. Foligno was all by himself coming in on the right side. What a beautiful play by LeBratton. He starts inside his own blue line and gets ahead of steam right through the middle. Watch him try to cut in between the 2 defensemen now. And he's knocked off the puck. Peter Mahavlich picks up the loose puck now and then spots Foligno over on the far side. Foligno has a wide open net to put it in, and he made no mistakes.
Foligno gets his 6th goal of the year. LeBratton and Mahavlich at 18-24. It's a 3-3 tie. And the puck driven all the way down the ice. Very long digging after it. Nobody's touched it yet. Now the Red Wings do, and it's an icing call. Now there's an outbreak down below. In the corner. And they shove and push. Very long is the man down on top. I think it's Sharpley, number 7. No, it's not Sharpley. There's Sharpley up along the boards. Very long and Zanussi.
Anderson, no, Zanussi.
They call the icing first.
Isn't it funny how that puck just was there, and both Long and Zanussi were grabbing one another, and no one had touched the puck, and then finally one of the Red Wings came in and touched it and caused the icing. The face-off is going to go all the way back into the Minnesota zone. 1 minute and 23 seconds left to go. We'll see what penalties are going to be called for this little fracas.
If any are called, Hogarth, the referee, is not moving over to the penalty box at all. I don't think he's
not going to call a penalty, which is good. The play was shot all the way down the ice. There's Long racing for it with Zanussi, and they both failed to touch it. The puck is tight to the boards. They both stand there. They're more involved with one another. Now, Peter Mahavlich comes in. He's the first one to touch it. That caused the icing.
That was Larson that gave his man a bump, and Sharpley came in after him.
And then they all get just swinging a little bit. Minute and 23 seconds to go. The score tied 3-3.
Face off in the circle to the left of Gilles Melarche. The Red Wings trail 3-0 coming into the 3rd period. Rather soundly outplayed in the 2nd, but they've come back to tie this hockey game. Puck bounces off to the side and in behind the Minnesota goal. Cleared out. Here's 3 of the North Stars moving down the ice. Kolich over the line, a shot wide. Paul Woods goes in with Anderson. In behind his own goal, Reed Larson. Out on the right side now, Harold Thompson. Thompson didn't get it out, kept in by Anderson. And Larson stepped into him. Larson dumps it out to center ice. It bounces into the Minnesota zone. We have 55 seconds to play in the hockey game. Wings make a wholesale player change. North Stars move with Maxwell into the Detroit zone. The puck slid to Vachon. He hands it to Barry Long. Up on the left side, Sobchuk. Played it back of his own goal, and Willie Huber has it. Now Huber playing it on the left side, Sobchuk. Wings better move it out. Sobchuk firing it out on the right side. Errol Thompson, look out. That did come out. Now the Wings move out with it. Over the line, Sobchuk. He brings it back out center ice. Hands it to Long. The Wings playing for the tie right now. Long lost it. There's a shot, and Vachon gets it away. Back on the blue line. A shot by Barrett. Vachon knocked it away. It's bouncing out in front of the goal, and McCourt has it. 10 seconds to go. Here now is Errol Thompson. He just lifts it into the North Star zone. 5 seconds remaining. And the Wings is playing for the tie right now, and they're going to get it as the buzzer goes to end what's been a thrilling hockey game from here at the Met Center in Bloomington, Minnesota. And here is the third period scoring summary brought to you by Magnavox and Frunter Appliance Stores. Minnesota leading 3-0 coming into the final period. The Wings got a break on a very weak flip shot on the part of Peter Mahavlich that bounced through a couple of the North Star defensemen and by goaltender Malash. The first Detroit goal at 3:22, unassisted to Peter Mahavlich. Then a power play goal scored by Danny LeBratton on a rebound at 8:02 from McCourt and Huber. And then it was Mike Foligno with the game just a minute and a half to go at 18:24. A pretty play from Danny LeBratton and Peter Mahavlich, and Foligno with his 6th goal of the year in his rookie season tied it up. A minute and 36 remaining, and the Wings skate off with that 3-3 tie. So the end of the game with a final score, Detroit 3, Minnesota 3. We'll be back to Bloomington in just a moment. For the Lions.
And a smile makes me feel good, makes me feel nice. That's the way it should be. And I'd like to see the whole world smiling with me. Coca-Cola as life. Have a coconut smile.
What's the big news about our 1980 Jeep CJ? MFG, more fun per gallon.
With a new 4-cylinder engine and drivetrain, the 1980 Jeep CJ delivers 21 EPA estimated MPG, plus all the gutsy performance CJs are famous for.
With the Jeep CJ, you get fuel economy you can be proud of. The best of any four-wheel drive vehicle built in America.
That's MFG, more fun per gallon.
Who says economy has to be dull?
So we're with you once more from here at the Met Center in Bloomington, Sid, and I've had fun in the third period before, but I think today was it.
I've lost my voice. That was a terrific finish, a terrific hockey game all night long, and I'm just so proud of the way the Wings did fight back. A lot of them come of age tonight. They got knocked around all night long, and they stood there and knocked other fellows down, and let me tell you, this is as good as a win anytime.
Well, there's no question about it, because the Wings have been on the other side of that thing so very often when they've taken leads into the third period. And today they came back with goals by Mahavlich, LeBratton, and Foligno. And it was a 3-3 tie in the third period. Minnesota 14 and Detroit 11. The overall shots on goal. Minnesota had 34, Detroit 23, and they did add an assist to Willie Huber in that second goal. That was LeBratton goal, but we'd already given it to him, so it didn't make a whole lot of difference. The Red Wings now, as he mentioned, on their way home. They'll be meeting the Montreal Canadiens Tuesday night at Olympia Stadium in Detroit. We'll be with you on radio with that one. Then next Saturday night, the Boston Bruins, and our next telecast comes up a week from tomorrow against the Philadelphia Flyers in a game from Philadelphia. So 3 toughies, and it's good that the Wings can go home with a point in this hockey game. They got to feel a lot better about it.
It's nice just to think that we're going home, Bruce, because for 2 weeks we've been living on out of suitcases.
Well, that takes care of what's been a thrilling hockey game from here at the Met Center, Bloomington, Minnesota, the home of the Minnesota North Stars. The final score, the Detroit Red Wings 3 and the Minnesota North Stars 3. We again invite you to join us a week from tomorrow, Sunday at 7 o'clock, when the Red Wings will meet the Philadelphia Flyers in Philadelphia. Till then, this is Bruce Martin, along with our producer-director Marvin Muse and Sid Abel, saying goodbye from Bloomington, Minnesota.
Detroit Red Wing Hockey is brought to you by AMC, your Metro Detroit AMC dealer, featuring the American Eagle.
And by Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. And by Peschke and the all-new Peschke Great American Premium line of products. And by Little Caesars, a winner any way you slice it.